Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PMPLSA 2023 Championship. My name is Fritz and I am super excited to bring you guys this tournament. We have already, the people who had been over here from, I'd say, SA Fall, they already know me. And I was just so pumped with the final that we had at finals in SA. But now we are here. Now we are finally here and ready to get this game going. I'm excited to see all the statistics that will be shown to us, the prize pool and everything. And especially it's the championship, so players are also going to qualify for the PMGC tournament. So you'll have to be a little bit more careful. There'll be teams added new. I think we already know a few people would already know that there are teams who have already made it towards the PMGC tournament, but some have to yet qualify. And now in this SAC, we have teams from multiple different regions. So now it's just not South Asia, but you also have Pakistan into the mix as well. So I'm super excited to see how the Pakistani teams match up with the South Asian teams. But if we talk about the format and timeline, so we have 20 teams who have been divided into 5 different groups. Every group will play 16 match. Every team will play 16 match in all of these groups, and the group stages will go on from 24th of August to 27th of August. The grand finals will start from 31st of August and will be up till 3rd of September. Now, in this, we will have the top 16 teams qualifying from the 20 teams that we have, and these will be playing for that hashtag #1 slot. And look at the massive, look at the massive prize pool that we have for this tournament. 150,000 US dollars. If you are the winner, you get the biggest chunk of it, $26,000 right in your pocket. And again, we always have this race for the MVP going on. So that $1,000 will be dedicated for the MVP of the entire tournament. So I'm super excited to see who that guy is going to be. And again, if you have made it till here, you will be rewarded with $1,000. So nobody is going out empty handed. It will be fun to see though which teams won't be able to perform, which ones will be on the top. Will we again see that Mongolian domination happen? But this is how the points will be distributed. So if you end up first, I think all of our audience will already know about this sort of points table. So if you come out first, you'll get 10 points, followed by second. If you have that second position, you get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. But if you're ending in 9 to 16th position, you won't be getting any points at all. So that's also something for the teams to keep in their minds. Now, elimination, having a single point every elimination. Now this will again put the teams who like to play aggressive a lot more into contention. I'll let you know, guys, the audience that is joining in from Pakistan. I'll tell you guys that in South Asia finals, we had this one team 4MV who just made insane comeback. 80 points, 90 points they needed to get in one day just to cover up the lead, and still they were able to win out the championship. It was always on the basis of the elimination points that they have. But now let's have a look at how the groups have been divided. So we have 4MV, SKYLIGHTZ, HVDC, and HR in Group A. Mabetex, DRS, King of Spades, and 52 Esports in Group B. Raw, IHC, Aegon, XIA, team to watch out for from Pakistani region, and ToughX from Group C. Group D, we have Stalwart Esports, Leo, Regicide, and Magnus Esports. Group E, it has T2K, NBeSports, 7th Element, and SR3X. Now, I remember casting the previous edition of PMPL Pakistan. In that tournament, I did see 3X Esports in a very good position. So this time around, I'd like to see if they can continue the same thing or not. Now, if we talk about the rosters that will be playing, 4MV, Doc, East, Apex, Baren, we also have that new edition Archer. Don't know if we will see him in the tournament or not. But yeah, all these other teams are in the similar fashion. Mabetex Esports has Wally, Desert, Zero, Leo, Kese. DRS has Rules, OG, Delta, Killer, Gante, Sang. King of Spades has a very big roster, but I don't think so. Usually we'll see only the 4 major players playing. Raw Esports also have a very big roster. Raw, I think, showed us majority of their players in the overall tournament as well. So Raw Esports did have a good game. Now followed by IHC, Evilizio, Godless, Alex Demo, Aegon XI8, Falak. You have to watch out for this team, man. You just have to watch out for this team. I've just been hearing a lot about Falak, and I'm very excited to see how that guy performs. Now, the other group D, Stalwart, Leo, Regicide, Magnus, these are the players. From this group, I'd say Stalwart Esports Just pick one, choose your poison, I'd say, from Stalwart Esports, because literally every guy performs in this roster. But then again, I'd say Tobbs is the one that I will personally have my focus on, because that he's just a very, very brilliant person, a very brilliant player. T2K, Jane, of course, XMPL, of course, are going to be the two players to look out for. NBeSports, Mondo and Fizzboy do the major heavy lifting, 7th Element and 3x Esports. So all these teams, all these players are ready to just pounce upon their opportunity, and I'm excited to see how do they do it. Now, I think you already guys have seen the little background going in behind. I believe you already would have figured out from which map that has been taken. So this is again another little tweak that has been done to improve your overall experience in the entire PMPL South Asia Championship 23 fall season. So you'll be seeing the first map of Erangel. You'll just keep an eye on the screen behind. You'll get to know which the next map is going to come in. But now let's have a look at some statistic comparison as well. So these are, I'd say, your winners for PMPL from two different regions. We have SA Fall winners, we have Pakistan Fall winners. So SA Fall winners, we have 4MB and IA, Agonix I8 were the grand finalists of PMPL Pakistan region. Now, if you have a look, it's complete I8 domination, man. This team has also surpassed the likes of Team 4MB. Although I'd say 4MB were a little bit lucky considering the way Raw and Mabetex played on the first 2 days. I thought they were the ones who will be taking the victory home. But instead, it was 4MB who were able to, just make a comeback and did not have the best possible performance. But Aegon X I8 had the best possible run in their entire region. Also, to put into perspective, that the earlier season that we've seen of championship, or the earlier scenes we've seen in comparison to Pakistan and the Mongolian team. So again, there's a little bit of a Mongolian domination that usually supersedes the Pakistani region or the Nepali region or the Bangladeshi region for that matter. Now, just putting these two statistics into comparison and thinking that I8 will do very good is not going to be the case. I believe still will see the Mongolian teams coming out on top, because in South Asia, you had a complete Mongolian domination. Yes, in the grand final, maybe you had Roy Esports. In the league stages, you had SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. But these were the teams who had sort of one-off weeks or one-off days where they were able to perform in a very good fashion, because of which they were on that top. SKYLIGHTZ, well, I'll not take anything away from them, because they were just not able to perform in the grand finals of South Asia. So the 3 days cannot just judge. We cannot judge a team on the basis of the performance they had in just 3 days. So not just taking away anything from them. But 4MB consistently performed through the league stages. In the grand finals, made a comeback on the final day. Those bonus points really helped them to do so. So all these things will have to be taken into consideration. Now, on the other hand, if we talk about the schedule for today, so I already gave you a sort of a sneak peek in the day. We have match number 1 ready, which will be first of all sat out by the side of Group E. And Group A, B, C, D will be playing this map of Erangel out. Now, I'm excited to see how these groups decide to, figure out a way to play this map. Because the early drop clashes have yet to be figured out. Some teams might have an idea that this team usually likes to drop in this position. This team does not. I believe I still remember from Pakistani. I'm not sure if it has changed or not. But when I used to cast Pakistan region, I think I know that IA dropped in military base. Same thing is being done by 4MB. Will we see a drop clash? Are these teams ready for this? I think I also had Regicide who usually dropped in Novo Refnoy. All these areas, when you were just playing the Pakistani region, could have been awarded to you, because the teams would respect you. It won't be here. Let me just be clear. It won't be respected or given to you if you do not contend. So you need to be really careful about where you drop, where you take those early fights. How do you play your last zones? How do you go in for your rotations? One thing that I'd say really want to see that usually happens in the Pakistani region are the bridge camps. So if there's a team moving towards Nova Rep, if there's a team moving towards Sosnovka military base, they are usually to get gatekeeped just on the edge of the bridge. So that is one thing that you'll have to keep in your mind, that now if 4MB goes towards military base, they cannot be like, it's all free, we'll rotate without any problem. Now you will be facing that bridge camp, if the teams decide to do it. So all these things will have to take it into consideration, and I'm really, really excited to see how this game is going to be played, how this game is going to be conducted, and overall how the tournament is going to be run. So man, let's see PMPL South Asia Championship. Really excited, really looking forward to all these teams played out properly, played out brilliantly, and let's see, man, how all these teams are going to pan out. Also, I'd like to get your guys' predictions in the chat. So please do let me know which team you are rooting for. I think we'll have a lot of Nepali fans supporting Team DRS, supporting Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, supporting T2K in the chat. Mongolian teams, of course, will go in with 4 MB and Stalwart domination. The Pakistani region will always go for I8 because I just know that Pakistan just loves I8. I also just love I8, man. I just love how Falak plays. He is just a player of a different breed. I mean, that's all I'll say. He's just a player of a completely different breed. He put him in a 1v3 with 10 HP, he will give you a clutch. Put him in a 4v4 with his team, he'll give you 3 knocks. He knows how to play in that team setting. He knows how to play it out solo. So you don't usually get players like those in tournaments like these. So I'm really looking forward to their performance. I'm really looking forward to how they played out. And well, let's see how this team decides to finally chime in. Team Aegon XI8. A little bit, I'd say, weaker performance, I think, in the last SAC. Not sure, guys. Do not quote me on that, but we'll have to take a look. So game number 1 is going to start in very soon. I think we will need a little bit of time. We'll need a little bit of time for the game of Erangel to get started with the game of Erangel. So we'll have to see. I mean, how these teams are going to play this entire game out. Well, again, I will ask you guys to let me know in the chat section how do you think this tournament is going to pan out. I'll also quickly get myself familiarized with the SAC Spring. So give me a short little time frame, guys. We will be just right after this break with game number 1.
PUBG Mobile version 2.7 will be available soon. Let's take a look at all the new content. The long-awaited Dragon Ball Super collaboration is officially here. We'll be bringing you 2 new game modes for this collaboration: Dragon Ball Super themed mode and Battle Royale Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super themed mode will be available in Erangel, Livic, and Sanhok. In this mode, we've incorporated Dragon Ball elements into the classic Battle Royale gameplay. All players will embark on a journey to find the Dragon Balls to summon Shenron. Collect the Dragon Balls scattered throughout the map. The team that gathers all 7 will be able to summon Shenron at the Shenron altar and make a wish to obtain powerful buffs. Maybe if you're super lucky, you'll get 3 wishes at once. During the journey of collecting the Dragon Balls, players will obtain a type of energy called Ki during the game. Players can use Ki to unleash famous Dragon Ball moves. Players can obtain the Kamehameha by picking it up. It equips to the pistol slot. After charging, it will release a continuous high-damage beam. Fukujutsu is another skill that can be picked up during a match. Players can use this skill to fly freely in the air and make quick tactical maneuvers. The Senzu Bean is a new recovery item that is incredibly effective. The Dragon Radar can display the location of Dragon Balls that haven't already been claimed by other players. It can help you collect the Dragon Balls more quickly. The Air Car can carry up to 3 players. It's easy to put away and has better performance than regular vehicles. Tenkaichi Budokai, Kame House, Korin Tower, Dragon Ball Village. These are some famous landmarks that will appear in the game. Call your friends and explore with them now. The collaboration this time even has a hidden challenge, named Dragon Ball Trial. Win consecutively in the themed mode for a chance to take on the challenge. After accepting the missions, the team has to follow the instructions and gather 7 Dragon Balls. During the process, your team's location will be exposed to other players. All players will be drawn into battle for the Dragon Balls. To win the game, the trial team must successfully secure the Dragon Balls, defend the altar, and then summon Shenron. Are you ready for the challenge? In this standalone mode, named Battle Royale Dragon Ball Super, players can roleplay as iconic Dragon Ball characters. Use powerful, unique moves in a brand new anime-style map, and become the ultimate victor. There are 5 Dragon Ball characters in this mode. They are Son Goku, Vegeta, Ultimate Gohan, Piccolo, and Frieza. Select your favorite fighter. Master their skills to suppress your enemies and achieve victory in intense battles. In the new version, the new Ace 32 firearm will be made available on all maps. It uses 7.62mm ammo and has 6 attachment slots. What are you waiting for? Go try it out now. Furthermore, this update also includes a firearm attribute tag display. Newer players can go to their backpack to look at the tags of a firearm they've picked up. to quickly grasp its characteristics. The new Cycle 5 Season 13 begins on July 18th. Be sure to stay tuned for the new season rewards. That's a wrap for the main new content of the upcoming version. For more information, be sure to follow our official PUBG Mobile community. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. See you next time.
Alright guys, welcome back after a short little break, and I'm really happy to introduce you guys to Echo Boy over here. He will be the one who will be joining me in the SAC Fall Championship. So Echo Boy, now I know you've seen PMPL with us. This was the guy who guys was giving, you know, the backhand predictions which we really did not care about. But here he is now. His predictions will matter a little bit in the entire tournament. So I'm really excited to have you on board, Echo Boy. What do you think? Will we see that Mongolian domination? I know you've not seen much in the Pakistani region, but let me tell you, Agon X I8, the ones to be taken care of.
So, well, I must tell you that I'm really very happy that I'm over here, first thing first. And about Agon I8, I actually quickly went and, got as much as possible.
Okay.
And I definitely did make sure to know that there is this one player named Falak, if I'm not wrong. Pure domination. Not only the team, but that one player has made a remarkable performance in the region of Pakistan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Falak has been the sort of pioneer for the Pakistani region. So whenever, I mean, for me at least, whenever I think that PMPL Pakistan, okay, Falak, that's my go-to guy, because I know he will just perform out of his mind. And because I've seen him perform right in front of me, I think he's just a crazy guy. He is just a crazy lad to have on your team, and I'm really excited to see how will he perform in the SAC Fall now, because the last time I think I did not get the time to check the last season of SAC, but I think he performed good. But Agon X I8 were not able to get all the chickens or everything that they needed. They fell a little bit short. It was again a Mongolian domination for their entire tournament. So I'd like to see if that continues or not. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, consistency, we were talking about it again and again, and 4M, we were like, in the final week itself, in the group stages, the final week itself, they were what, 6th or 7th position down the drain. And suddenly, just one day, it comes up like 4MV back on the 2nd spot. Grand finals, first 2 days, absolutely garbage for 4MV. They were not able to get anything done. The only points that they had were carried in the form of bonus point from the previous group stages. But then they come into the grand finals, and the 2 days, they are just awesome. They are just amazing. So I was just completely flabbergasted to see 4MV perform in that fashion, and they were able to get that grand final victory for themselves. So 4MV, yeah, I mean, they were the teams to be looked out for. That was the team that definitely made us say, let's just throw that word in the garbage. Let's just throw that word in the bin, because really consistency, I don't think so matters. You just need to have a performance like 4MV. One day, 5 games, get 100 points. You're the victors, because that's what they did in the entire grand finals. So now I'm really excited to see how the tournament in fall is going to be. Erangel is going to be our game number 1. I think we are facing some sort of technical difficulty, because of which the game is delayed a little bit. I think we will be jumping into the game very, very soon. But yeah, man, SAC fall, this is going to be one hell of a tournament. I'm just excited to see the performances. I'm just excited to see that clash between 4MV, Agon X I8, the battle between the Supremes, Stalwart Esports versus 4MV, Stalwart versus Agon X I8. All these teams, man, who usually rely on the chicken dinners. Those are the teams I'm looking out for to get the job done. So here we go, guys, with match number 1 on the map of Erangel. Alright, now if we look at the plane path, it has started from the region of hospital and is going all the way up to Milta Power. Very interesting plane path, starting off from the really center of the plane. Now, there's another small change on the desk, guys. So this time around, we have Ahana with us, who did the other tournament PMPLSA with me. So Hannah, welcome back to SAC Championship. What do you feel about this tournament?
I am so excited to see how these teams are going to perform around here because, again, Fritz, we have seen quite a few teams out of this whole roster, just trying to get their way up. And now that we're seeing more teams getting added to the whole situation, it's going to be much, much fun. I'm pretty sure they've all had a keen eye on each other. And this is literally going to be fun watching all these teams who were in the same exact time trying to fight their own battles, trying to make their way in here, just go ahead against each other.
Yeah, now it is going to be really, really fun, but what I'm still interested to see are the drops. Now, I do
Oh,
see
yes.
Regicide going all the way up to Georgia Pole, so that's one team. Stalwart have again gone for the really shallow query split that they usually do once they do not have Novo Repnoi in the close by area. Now, I think Baren has already spotted a player of Magnus and is taking some shots. If those connected, Magnus could have been in a little bit of trouble, but that's not the case. And 4MV somewhere around the, I'd say, northern side of Ferry Pier, but I think they are here for the vehicle, and as soon as they have that vehicle, they'll be rotating towards the city of military base.
Well, sure enough, and soon enough, that might be what we see happening for these teams. But as of now, 4MB is still going to be looking for some good enough loot to be actually having enough support while moving on towards military base. And yeah, I mean, Agonex I8, one of the teams who generally loves being on a military base alongside 4MB. These two are going to have some fun time trying to rip each other apart. And that's going to create some entertainment for you and I, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Meanwhile, I also see Egon excited, is it? Falak
Yes,
is in the
exactly.
vehicle and Doc is in front of them. The drift and the players are out of the vehicle. Doc gets one knock onto UZM, but the trades were there. And 4MV looks like that they have that upper hand in this entire fight. A very rookie mistake from Egon XI8. The fight I wanted to see in the final stages happened so early on, and for some reason Egon thought that Doc is all alone. It is never the case. It is never the case. And the revival will also be chimed in. 4MV, not only they have got 3 frags, but also a free vehicle.
That's true, and that vehicle is gonna be super useful when they try to rotate around. But in the meanwhile, Magnus Finney is gonna try to pick up a few shots on the team. Egon XI8 still has one solo player trying to make it through just to have more and more placement points for the team. And yeah, all these teams are gonna be finding themselves in a much, much more stickier situation that they opted for. And look at that, Finney is gonna be able to find one. He is trying to look for the confirmation, but the rest of the players of 4MB, they want to take this fight. They're marching in. Already a lot of damage onto Finney, and he cannot stay more. But wait a second, he'll get the second knock and the third. He also made a confirmation. He's just taken out as well. 4MV, what just happened? After starting so well, they become one of the first teams to get taken out completely.
Hey, they thought this was the last guy of Egon XI8. That's what they thought, because Finney had a very closer by, was in a very closer by area.
True.
So I think 4MV thought this is just a solo guy. Let's just push him. Let's just get that 4th frag. But it turned out to be a player from the different team. My God, what an unfortunate start for both the teams that I thought would top the table. 4MV Egon XI8 almost out of the game.
Exactly. I mean, in spring when we were doing PMPL PK, we saw Egon XI8 becoming the victors of that. And even right now in PMPL SA during the fall season, we saw 4MB be the victor. And both these victor teams are literally struggling right now at the bottom of the chart. But well, that gives us opportunity to see more and more competition come into play. And we both like it a lot, and we both are going to be enjoying on that. In the meanwhile, the TUF is still going to be surviving on the area of Primorsk. They are going to have King of Spades and Magnus, both to fight off with soon enough. But until then, they will have all the area to go ahead and acquire the best loot that they can get and make their hands, all comfy and easy on it. If you talk about the circle has already started closing in. It's a very centralized area. It's going to be super easy to navigate to for most of the teams. It's just that one single player of Egon XI8 that I'm slightly worried about, because he's all the way down in military base and then walking right into the circle. There will be fights that he has to avoid, and then also fights that he has to literally escape by hiding away from. So hopefully a late rotation is what we'll expect from this team.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the best. I mean, too big to call a team, Hana, just a solo player.
True
This is the
that.
last remaining guy of I8. So Aiku will just try to survive for as long as possible. A very late rotation indeed would be the best possible thing for him to do. And on the other side, except for this, again, as I said, I8 and 4MV will always have that drop clash unless and until they decide to not, one of these teams decide to not drop into military base.
Oh,
Because
they
if
both
you look
are
at that
rigid though.
Aiku, yeah, I mean, yes, they both are. So if they decide, then they'll have to always fight it out. They will suffer a few losses. And essentially, one of these teams will be eliminated from the entire tournament. And also, I'll inform you, Anna, this time around, we do not have a lot of Miramars. So at max, you have one Miramar every day, but two Erangels every day is a compulsion. So we have a lot of Erangels being played. And if drop clashes like these happen, I think it will be really interesting to see how do they play it out.
Well, absolutely. We'll have to see how that turns out for the teams. But as of now, can you see the zone near Yasnaya Polyana? It's gonna be a fight between HR and SG. Now, HR being one of the teams that has recently shown up and has surprisingly made their way into SAC. Like, nobody was expecting this, but they made it through. They're doing good, and so far, it's looking optimal for them. But let's see if SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is gonna be a team that they will be able to fight out, because again, HR has come all the way from, I think, Pakistan region, and it's gonna be a much unexpected fight for them. So let's see how that one gives results. As of now, Stalwart is still gonna be chilling their way, having some fun in the region, because there's still a couple of teams that are trying to approach, but there's gonna be enough time for them to go ahead and analyze the situation before investing into these fights. In the meanwhile, HVDC in close proximity. However, the team is super scattered, and that makes me slightly worried about them, because Stalwart from their region will be able to go ahead and pick some heads off of HVDC, another team that showed us great firepower but not enough chickens all through the tournament.
All right. Ryuk has already spotted Action down. Some shots were taken, but it's Action who gets that first knock. So Aero is down on the ground. They have that information about Ryuk too. So Stalwart ready for that fight. I mean, these are the two teams who have played amongst each other for very long. They've played those group stages. They've played the grand finals. So Stalwart knew that there is a team inside the city of Pochinki, and they just basically are here to hunt. Maybe get some frags, get the better loot that your opponent has, and then continue the game. So let's see, Stalwart, how do they want to play this one out? The zone is already formed. Would like to see where did it go. In the meanwhile, Tough, they are in this fight with King of Spades, and trades have started to happen.
Oh, Tough is losing players, and Magnus is going on getting more and more numbers for themselves. In the meanwhile, Tough, however, before leaving, was able to pick one off of Kings of Spades. But that's not going to be enough, because the retaliation is just going to be harmful for Tough itself. The team has only 2 players remaining for themselves, and both are struggling the blue. They have to fight their way into the circle, and it's not going to be easy. All these 3 teams gathered together, but not for a peaceful reconciliation, but for fighting it off to the main stage of being the last one surviving. Magnus in this situation seems to be the one with the most advantage, because King of Spades and Tough both have lost players in the process, and Magnus will soon be able to clean the whole slate out and find themselves in a much more better position. As of now, they are not struggling with the blue as well, so that's another plus point that they can keep on hanging on to. But they are doing a great job at gatekeeping this situation. So let's see how this turns out for the team. In the meanwhile, though, the circle has taken a northwestern shift, which is going to be super easy for most of the teams, because they were already in that area. The ones who weren't have already made their way in. I mean, teams are taking a lot of interest into being sure of where they are positioned and not really losing HP to the circle. But wait a second, Mamba! Oh goodness, he seemed like he was trying to challenge a fight, but he literally got run over by the players of Magnus, and that's another frag added to the tally. 6 elimination points already for Magnus, and they are looking
Seventh
for more.
one.
Yeah, the
that's
7th
the
one is
7th
up
one.
here.
Easy job, man. Easy job for the side of Team Magnus Esports. Hey, that's a really good way to start off the game. Would love to see Magnus convert this into a very big game. So, well, let's see. I mean, Magnus, how do they play this one out? HVDC on the other hand have taken some shots out of the players of Team HellRaisers, and HellRaisers looks like that they have to get that revival as soon as possible.
They will have to go ahead and pick the player back up, because right now, if you take a look at how many players are surviving per team, most of the teams have all four. It's only three teams that do not. I mean, you could call it four if you count 4MB, but wait a second. Let's get back to that in a second. As of now, it seems like King of Spades, while still own self is in fire, burning down, wants to take up the fight. Healed back in time, trying to fight Malik, but no, the run over will happen, and Magnus will still survive with all of their players. The revival will happen. It's going to be super easy to go ahead back into the circle, because it's just the first stage, not going to be much of a problem. They can just pick themselves up, walk right in, and have themselves a leisurely spot inside the circle. Oh goodness, this is getting more and more brutal with every single passing second. HellRaisers could not revive their fallen comrade.
Uh-huh.
Now it's a 3v4 that they're stuck in, and HVDC, with one defeat already to their name, are looking for the other.
Yeah, let's see, man. HVDC, they are looking for blood, and they will get the blood that they needed. Jokey Boy is down on the ground. The revival has to be thrown in, and Sancheer will be suppressed. Maybe throw some nades, Sancheer. You have 5 of those. Try to get that confirmation out of the players of Team HellRaisers. It's not the case, and HellRaisers will be able to get their player back up and running. This zone, though, look at the shift. Goes towards the City of Ruins. Now, this will ruin the game for a lot of these teams. HVDC, HellRaisers, nobody's inside the zone. Meanwhile, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming have also started to lose players. A run over comes in. The trades are finally there. And 52 Esports also seem to be in a little bit of a troublesome situation.
Well, in this fight between 52 Esports and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, there is gonna be a clear entry onto the crater fields on the Georgia Pole Hills for the side of IHC, which they can make a lot of use out of. But wait, they are trying to go for the third party first. In the meanwhile, HellRaisers trying to raise some hell onto the players of HVDC. Right on the face of the opponents, they're going for the revival, and HVDC is gonna be able to pick back their healing up. And wait a second, what just happened? They were able to eliminate HellRaisers Jokey Boy as well. This is a very musical celebration, music to the ears of HVDC players, because they survive all 4 with 3 eliminations to their name. That's looking pretty optimal for them. And now, the same story as it was for Agonex I8 is gonna be for the side of HellRaisers as well. With one single player surviving, they're gonna be fluttering around, trying to find themselves as many placement points as possible. In the meanwhile, though, Leo will just be busy trying to make sure that they do what they usually do: stay silent, not make a lot of noise, and just wait for the action to happen around them. And the prey of this hunt is gonna be Mabetex Esports.
All right. Mabetex Esports, they can take advantage of all of these situations. Although I'm more interested to see where is Magnus Esports. I did not spot them on the mini map. Are they inside the zone? Do they have a good spot, or have they
They've
already
entered
been eliminated?
down from south.
Okay, they rotated from south.
Yes.
Ooh,
3
all
players
right,
are
then.
already inside, 4th one about to be in, still not battling the blue though, so easy entry.
Oh, then that's not a problem for Magnus, because that team has had a really good start. I really want them to perform in the best possible fashion. Now, this is the best time to get in on, because I don't think so the revival is going to be that easy onto the players of Team Stalwart Esports. Yes, Action is trying to take a few shots onto the rotating by vehicle, but he won't be able to get anything as a
waited for
knocked out player will be
confirmation.
confirmed.
Alrighty. I mean, I thought the blue is coming in. You might just want to just, rotate around. But well, there was just a slight little bit of edge right there. And because of that, there was enough possibility for HVDC to just enter in, make their confirmation happen. And now Action is going to be in the crosshairs as well. Aero is going to want to try to get that frag. But now that the vehicle noises have revealed themselves, every player of HVDC is going to be aware of the fact that Stalwart Esports has started their move, and nobody's going to be found in the region. In the meanwhile, though, if you take a look at the circle, it's again keeping Ruins all the way in the center. Again, a northwestern shift. And I think the next one after this is not going to follow the same pattern. So people would want to avoid the northwestern region a little bit when walking into this particular circle, which is even more difficult because the southeastern area, it's already occupied by multiple teams.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Well, let's see. I mean, that cluster that will be formed out has to be cleared out, and all the teams will suffer a loss because of it. Now, I do see DRS already have a good position inside the ruins of ruins. Now, all the 4 players, they still survive. and hopefully are able to carry it out for a little bit longer, because the other teams around them, Mabetex, they are looking for blood. Already we're down to just 37 players, Ahana. A lot of casualties have happened, which was usually not the case. Even Raw Esports have chipped up a player of Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. HVDC Stalwart, that fight is still going around the city of Pochinki, where Stalwart seem to lose player left and right.
That's true. Stalwart is constantly losing players. However, HVT has also faced one casualty, but they are, very closely knit, very, surrounding each other. They will be able to go ahead and make that revival possible. In the meanwhile, we will lose Regicide completely. And if you talk about Magnus, I am scared of how scattered this team is in this current situation. But wait a second, never mind. Zibian is going to be able to take care of another player, and HVDC now losing players will not only make things easier for Stalwart but also for Magnus. In the meanwhile, HellRaisers, the last player remaining, next is gonna be the next one to get eliminated. The blue is already on him, the player is already on him, and these shots, they're connecting well right now.
Yeah, Zebian, he is just trying to shoot in the dark and maybe just get the job done, get the frags to his name. Already up to 9. HellRaisers, next would be the next guy falling. He is still behind that rock, but as soon as he tries to peek out, I think Magnus just have their crosshairs trained. HVDC on the other hand get that knockout to Nirzat, but Ryuk just falls down to his own demise. Action though goes down, but Aegon next I8 Saiku, the third party player. He is also trying to get those frags and try to harm the players of Team Stalwart or maybe the players of Team HVDC.
Aegon XI8 being able to squeeze the best value from a situation that wasn't meant for them at all. One single player surviving, still creating so much trouble, so much ruckus for the teams that have multiple online. This is scary. In the meanwhile, though, IHC will also be able to wash their hands in this river because IC won't be having much opportunity to survive long enough because the crosshair from the side of Godless is already marching, onto him, and then Demo is also trying to collect some information. However, the smokes have made it slightly difficult for him to do so, but he's gonna be able to find that information sooner or later, and IC won't be able to stay long. There it is. IC gets eliminated as well, and now we have literally just 9 teams remaining, or let's call it 7 because SKYLIGHTZ Gaming and Aegon XI8, as you mentioned earlier, they are not teams anymore. They're just singular players.
Yeah,
Individual entities. Yeah.
Just trying to survive. Now, even Mabetex have lost a player. Leo is completely out of the game. And it is DRS who get that frag to their name. That's a good thing for DRS. And a little bit difficult for Mabetex to go on with. Desert! He was running down the hill to get that revival. Only if we would have been knocked out by DRS's players, it could have been a challenging situation for Mabetex to follow through, because then Wally was really, really far away, and I don't think so Wally would have even bothered to go in for the revival, and then Mabetex also will have only one player surviving in their name. But for now, they will be able to get that revival. Desert will be also healing himself, patching himself back up. And let's see, a 3-man squad of Team Mabetex, how do they perform?
Absolutely, we'll soon find out how Mabetex is gonna make it through because again, they do have 3 players, but the separation between Wally and the rest of the team is gonna be pretty dangerous. I am seeing Desert try to make a run for it, and soon enough, the team will reconcile, will go ahead and find themselves a better grounding for staying in the game. In the meanwhile, though, if you take a look at DRS is still having one of the most optimal places inside Ruin. They are gonna be able to squeeze hell lot of value out of this. And as we had expected earlier, Fritz, take a look at how the circle is looking right now. It has gone all the way towards east.
Fun circle. And in the next 90 seconds, this is also going to reduce to a very small area, after which these teams will really have to fight it out. I think we also have a change in the sort of circles that we have, right? Because I think the circles is moving a little bit slower as compared to the previous time. Meanwhile, now IQ is being pushed in by the players of Team Magnus. Fini was not careful and IQ was able to punish him for that. But now let's see if IQ is able to get that frag confirmation or not. The answer is just going to be blatant no. Malik goes in, Malik gets the job done, Malik gets the frag, and Magnus Esports will be able to get 13 frags to their name and will still continue in the game.
Well, they will, and they have not lost a single player yet. I mean, Nox kept coming in, but then the revivals came in even stronger. Magnus is looking so flashy right now. Nobody out of the teams that are even surviving right now has even half the number of frags that Magnus has. And you know it, when you do win with a chicken dinner, you do get only 4 points in advance compared to the team on the second position. Even if Magnus does not get the chicken dinner, currently they seem like they're going to be the team that has the most points in this particular match. So, I mean, they already have something to celebrate. And imagine if they choose to celebrate it by getting more and more frags.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus would love to get some more. I mean, they've already got 13. They're looking to make it a 20 frag dinner. Maybe
Oh,
that's
that
what they're
would
eyeing for.
be amazing.
That would be monstrous. And that too in the very first game of the entire tournament. So they will establish themselves a very big lead, to say the least. Now the zone finally shifts onto this ruins area. So DRS really have a deadly spot inside the zone. But how do they use this deadly spot? It's all up to them.
Well, we'll soon figure out how DRS is gonna be able to make their way through, because again, as we mentioned even earlier, their position looks pretty optimal. They have a lot of cover and still a lot of open area to go ahead and take the fights. They're close enough to be able to revive each other. I mean, everything that can go right for a team is going on for the side of DRS. Magnus, even after having that many frags, are gonna be facing quite a lot of problems when trying to make it into the circle, because the circle is way far away and there's multiple teams in the way. IHC though, I don't think this team had many frag points to their name, and they're literally so scattered at this point of time. Plus, they're literally on the edge of the circle on the side which is gonna have the fastest push coming in. So I'm not pretty sure if they're gonna be having the best run. And look at that. If IHC player is spotted by Magnus, it's done for. It's done for. Finny found him. Finny found Godless. Godless is done for. But wait a second. Demo is coming in. What just happened? Wait a second. Magnus is the one taking the damage here? They lost
Yeah,
a
they've
player.
lost a player. That's a really big loss. And this is all because of the zone, the shift, the sort of shift that the zone had. IHC is also in trouble, yes. But the good thing is they have all their 4 players surviving. So they will have a little bit more hands as compared to the other teams. Only IHC and DRS surprisingly have all 4 standing. So now this will be really fun to see how both these teams, just perform in the entire game. Alex is trying to spray through the smoke, trying to take a Leo player down, finds nothing, wants to reset, but also needs to make sure that is hidden away against the players of Team Roy Esports, because look at where Malik is, literally on top of the world.
Oh, he is gonna have a lot of enjoyable fights in that spot, because again, being able to be on a heighted spot on a place like this, ruins, which does not really have any ceiling cover on you, it's gonna be pretty optimal for Malik to go ahead and find himself at the best of both worlds, to be honest. But in the meanwhile, Jiggle will have to wiggle out of this crossfire that has been created by the players of IHC, and he's trying to get away. But the nades are coming in, and Godless, on the other hand, has been naded out. Now the revival has to happen, and the frag has to happen. I don't know what the choice is going to be for the side of Demo, but Godless definitely needs help from the side of Demo. The rest of the players of IHC are too far away to go ahead and make this possible. Malik has left his ground. He has come down to the bottom again. So let's see if he's going to be able to squeeze any frags out from here, because right now the height advantage has gone all the way to IHC. And look at Zeol, how he is trying to make the best of it. Nades after nades, he's trying to get players from the side of Raw Esports and make life difficult for them. And I think even the zone is going to do the same in a few seconds.
Oh, all right. ISC, yes, they have to. 2 of their guys have to get inside. I mean, they are just barely inside the zone. So if Roy is able to just toss a really good nade into one of these areas, Zeol or Alex could be taken down. Attempts are being made by Roy Esports. It's not like they're not even attempting, but I don't think so. They are giving any fruit. Another zone collapses, and again it's a shift towards the ruins area, towards more of the ruins area, and now Roy Esports are outside the zone. 90 meters is the distance that this team has to cover to get inside as quickly as possible. They do have a buggy to facilitate the rotation, but then in front of them will be either a duo of Tough or maybe the squad of DRS. Both of which will try to first of all toss some nades. Plus, IHC will also shoot on you as soon as you try to get in. All these problems. Let's see how do the players of Team Roy Esports decide to deal with this?
Well, we'll soon find out if Roy is even gonna be able to fight this off. And considering that they too are aware of the situation right now, they might want to go ahead and capture a few more frags from the side of IHC, or wait for IHC to rotate before them so that they're able to find themselves enough room to wiggle around in. Right now, the smoke walls are being created from the side of Raw just to go ahead and find themselves a placement to move through. But IHC just not leaving any stone unturned in this area of ruins. There's too many rocks to go ahead with, and every single one turning them over onto Raw, they're gonna create a lot of ruckus. In the meanwhile, Mabetex becomes another prey, and IHC just getting frags left and right, but still not as many as Magnus did.
How many smokes did Raw throw? I'd say 10, 12 smokes? And
More
somehow
than
they are
that.
trying to get their way inside the zone. Now, this is the fun thing to see. IHC, on the other hand, yes, they are still fighting it out against the players of Team Tough. For some reason, Demo thought there was a player inside the vehicle, because of which he just tries to shoot it out and maybe deal some damage. But
Oh,
meanwhile,
Magnus.
nades being exchanged and IHC in a little bit of a trouble. Magnus have also lost a player and needs a revival. Although Roy Esports have also started tossing nades, and those nades are damaging the players of IHC. Godless out and about, Alex down on the ground. Praveen has been tagged up quite a bit, but the knock is still not there.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty blessed for the side of Prabeen. He's gonna be able to heal himself back, run out of the blue, march right onto the faces of IHC, but he gets knocked. However, he was able to eliminate IHC in the process. Now, IHC wasn't really a very strong team to begin with, but they were creating a lot of problems for all the other stronger teams that survived. In the meanwhile, Magnus and Leo fighting it off amongst themselves, making life difficult for each other, and DRS still standing with all four players. They only have 3 frags to the name, so not going to be a very glamorous victory. But then again, it seems like it is going to be their victory, nonetheless.
Yeah, victory is all that matters, man. Another very good nade from Killer. Forces M7 from his position, but the knock is still not there. A lot of damage dealt, but he survives and he will be able to get the reset. Even Roy Sports are there in the game. Does Rules not spawn Jiggle in the grass? Because I sure can see him clear as a day, because I have that X-ray vision available. Never mind, that's also a thing that I have to take into consideration. Yeah, so DRS won't be able to spot Raw down. He could play the spoil sport into the later stages of the game. But meanwhile, yeah, Magnus, this is the end of the road for Magnus Esports. One side they had Leo, the other one they had Mabetex Esports, and even though after a very fiery start, they're not able to make the most out of it.
I do like the fact that they chose to go ahead and get in as many frags as possible in the beginning of the game itself, because in this position things become more and more uncertain. The smaller the circle gets, the more uncertain your survival becomes, and if you have enough elimination points to start off with, it generally becomes a much more lenient position for you to hold on to. In the meanwhile though, Mabetex trying to close it in onto the players of DRX. Now, DRS is one of the teams that has all 4 players alive. That's the only team with all 4 players on board. And they are literally going on a rampage at this point of time. Tough has been eliminated. They already have their crosshair set onto Leo. Mabetex is already in a fight against them and also losing players in the meanwhile. And this shotgun from Killer could actually do a lot of damage. But well, on right exact time, Killer falls back. With Giro eliminated, he's gonna have more room to enter in from. So let's see what he's gonna do right now. In the
Ooh, good
meanwhile,
nade.
the nades, yes, they are doing a great job. From Raw as well, Kyante has been taken down from the side of DRX by the help of Raw. But still, DRS is gonna be the team with the most number of players online.
The push
Oh,
comes in
never
and
mind.
Killer falls. Although the trade is there, so Roy Sports will be out of the game. But Gyante has also been taken care of. This could be the opportunity that Mabetex were looking for. But I think Mabetex
But
also just down to 2. And Desert did not reset.
Exactly.
Desert does not have healing. So this is now going to be a very tough spot for the players of Team Mabetex. Yes, they maybe get that knock, but it won't matter a lot in the longer run. This is zone number 9 and the zone has started to close in. Is this revival even possible? I don't think so. Yeah, both these players cannot be brought back into the game. So essentially, it's a 2v2v1. Leo also now have a very good chance. And
What?
the position not being known makes it into a 1v1v1. All 3 players, all 3 solo guys still in the game. Leo will be able to eliminate Mabetex as well. Now it's all down to rules. Tossing a few smokes. trying to get his teammate maybe back up into the game, or maybe tossing a nade into the direction from which the shots came in. Leo, the knock is not there, and they've been able to get that revival too. So now it's a 2v2. If DRS is able to get this revival on board, Leo will be forced out in the open. DRS, they get that revival. Killer will be brought back up. Delta is also being attempted to get that revival, and the smoke has a lot of time left in it. Gyante falls off because of the blue, but the reset has been achieved by the players of Team DRS. Leo, do they spam or not over here? They should spam, right? Another smoke being tossed out from the corner though. Leo Slipknot is able to get that knock. The trade is not found. Delta tagged up a little bit. All these snakes in the grass are trying to fight it out for the final spot for the hashtag #1 position. Killer forced out, but Delta stands up and gets that knock. Slipknot left all alone will be taken care of. And DRS, they just hold the game somehow in their favor.
Beautifully done by the players of DRS. I mean, this was a victory that they had been awaiting. But here we are with 9 eliminations and 19 total points. They will get themselves the first position.
Guys, welcome back after a short little break. Man, what a game. What a game that we just witnessed. I had a lot of fun. Magnus starting off on such a positive note. They got so many early frags, but at the end were not able to convert the game in their favor. But then comes in the players of DRS, who were like sleeper cells, waiting to invade, waiting for their time, and as soon as they had time, they just pounced upon the opportunity.
They did, and I mean, it seemed like DRS is gonna be losing players at one point of time.
Yeah.
Leo seemed like they're gonna be able to squeeze the game in, but then they just did not capitalize on the opportunity they were given. They had the opportunity to go ahead and spam through the smoke. They had enough ammunition to do that. They had enough nades to go ahead for it. But then their slip up of decision making in that particular moment just resulted in their own demise, and DRS was able to win this with 19 points. They are going to be finding themselves at the top of the table, and Magnus with 13 eliminations, and I guess 6th is the position that they acquired, so that would be, I think, 2 points, so that just makes
15,
it 15.
not bad.
Yeah,
It is not that bad considering
Absolutely.
where they got eliminated. But then you say you have such a bombastic start. Play zone just not in your favor, man. Cannot do much about when the play zone is not in your favor. So that was a little bit of a hiccup in the side of Team Mabetex. Now, well, we will have a look at the MVP of the entire game. I think it should be a player from the side of Team Magnus, because they played it in such a fabulous fashion. On the other hand, even DRS, I think, had good number of frags. So maybe DRS as well could be another team to look out for the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, 9 total eliminations for DRS as well, and yes, it is a player from DRS with 3 eliminations. Okay, it has a lot to do with damage. I'm pretty sure of that, because 977 damage and 3 eliminations. I think that's the damage factor that is playing role here for rules, because obviously if a team has 13 eliminations, every player at least has, I mean, someone at least has 4 eliminations from there, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, DRS, they had a great game, 1000 damage almost onto Rule OG, but at the end he was able to only get 3 elimination. As you said, Magnus should have a player with, I still remember, I think 4 or 5 frags is what the number was on one of these 4 guys. So yeah, Malik has 5 from Raw, Desert has 4 from Mabetex, even Finisher has 4 from Magnus. Jiggle from Raw also made his debut in this list, maybe with 2 elimination but 802 damage. So for sure, this guy also performed in a good way.
Sure did. And I mean, I think the elimination numbers are not as huge here as the damage is. I mean, nobody is below 500 damage, even though there is a player with only 2 eliminations. So, I mean, there's a lot of damage that was dealt around, but then a lot of revivals that happened as well. Constantly, teams were going on running with 4 players each. For a really long time, we did not see players falling down from most of the teams, and that was great enough. Like, very well done from these players.
Yeah, man. What a fun game to see. If we
True.
talk about the map summary this time around, we have highest elimination that has been taken away by Malik from Roy Sports. Damage achieved by Rule OG 977. Highest assist they've been with 4. Highest healing done. We still have this number, but yeah, it's achieved by Jiggle from Roy Sports.
Absolutely. Jiggle, Zibian, Finisher, Slipknot, all of these players were belonging to teams that were doing very great all through, because Roy as well was able to survive for a really long time. If and only if IHC wasn't in their way, Raw could have actually made it even further. But yeah, every single team found some kryptonite in this match, and I think they are gonna wanna avoid those teams in the further endeavors, because again, this is the first time they're coming in together in this particular format. And this season, they have a lot more to learn about each other to be able to make sure that they're using
Yeah.
their best capabilities in the best directions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That this is the last chance, I'd say, before the
Yup.
spring season. So try and make it grand, because otherwise you won't be able to make it to PMGC. That's it. Not a big deal. You won't play for the next 4 or 5 months. Not a big deal. But hey,
Wow,
guys,
okay.
let's
No
try to
pressure.
let's try to not be in that boat and be in a boat that is still afloat, that still gives you a slot towards PMGC. So there will be teams eyeing out for that tournament. But yes, this first game was really fun, and let's have a look at how many points these teams were able to get in from this game number 1. So we for sure have Magnus on the second spot. Okay, so we have DRS on top with 19, followed by Magnus with 15.
Exactly. I mean, we almost knew the first and second positions already, but look at Raw. Even they have 9 eliminations for themselves, and they have acquired themselves the third position with 13 in total. I mean, double-digit points for all the way until Mabetex. This is great going. But if you talk about teams all the way from the 7th position, all the way from HVDC, I'm slightly worried for them. HVDC had good eliminations, but then again, no placement points. And then there are teams with no placement or any elimination points either. And Stalwart is one of them. That was not expected at all.
Yeah, Stalwart, it was not expected at all. But the other teams, I mean, the way the game started, I think I saw 4MV in the bottom charts. They still were able to get 3 elimination points, so not
Yep.
the worst possible result. But hopefully they perform a little bit better in the upcoming games. So that's the only thing. 4MB versus Aegon X I8 will be another battle that will keep happening in the map of I'd say Erangel. So
Yeah.
that's another thing. But this time around, we do not have that map. It is instead the map of Miramar, where these teams will be fighting it out. And let's see, man, Miramar, how does this map go?
Exactly. Group D will be sitting this one out. We have Group A, B, C, and E playing this one off. And again, if Agon X8 belongs to the group, they are going to be on Los Leones. If 4MB belongs to the groups, they are going to be in Chupacera. The two teams that literally ruined the game for each other so badly, so early in the last one, will be slightly far away from each other. So a lot more peace in that particular segment. But yeah, it's not going to be Miramar always. We are going to have Erangels repeatedly. And both of these teams, as rigid as they are, they're going to keep serving us with entertainment until they
Yeah.
start, having a truce and calling it like, okay, you know what, let's just cohabit. At least until the first circle, and then start getting
Yeah.
into the fights.
I mean, that's what we want. I mean, I really want a lot of teams to play towards the final circles rather than fighting it out early on, because won't give you the desired result. Magnus, yes, this time around they were able to get good number of frags without losing a player. They were lucky considering 4MB
Yes.
thought that this is the last remaining guy of I8. We'll just push in and get that frag, which of course did not happen as there was support from his teammates from the side of Team Magnus Esports. So Zibian was able to clutch that situation out. But on the other side, Chumacera this time around, we know 4MB goes there, but where does I8 go? I do not remember.
It goes
from
Los
our
Leones.
Pakistan. Oh, okay, they go.
Yes.
Then we have Stalwart. Then we have, I think, Leo Esports going there, who will be matching them.
Leo
also
just
like
goes
to
wherever
go
they
there.
want. A lot of times
Well,
I've
okay,
seen
that's
them
also-
actually switch around on spots. So
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna
also
be,
true.
super sure on that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's also true. So, well, drop locations is still something to be figured out. We will still be waiting for this particular map to begin. But yeah, man, let's just right into action. For the audience that does not know, I love this map, and I do not love this map, but I love to call this map as the land of DMRs and snipers. So let's see on this land on DMRs and snipers how all these teams are going to perform.
Well, we'll soon figure out. All the way from near ruins, our plane path is marching right from across El Pozo, and that's gonna be some interesting, areas. However, still feel like the, eastern regions are gonna be super far out of reach. Matrix might be suffering a little because they do like to scatter around the area of Kimpo Militar, which is gonna be super far away. So I gotta see where, Matrix is gonna choose to fall in. But wait a second, are they playing this? Yes, they are. So let's see what happens to be their alternate location. I'm seeing NBeSports on this one. I don't think we saw them in the last map, so that's gonna be one new addition that we can keep our eyes out for. And there's also gonna be players from the side of Seventh Element. It has been a long time since I saw them. T2K is a part of this one, so a lot of teams that are gonna be super entertaining to watch.
Yeah, well, all these teams are definitely going to be super entertaining to watch. But hey, only one can be the victors. So
True
which
that.
which is that team? Which team will
Seventh Element.
be crowned as the champions of this particular game? That's the biggest question. But yeah, A1 XIA towards Los Leones. I see a lot of teams around Shumasera, man. A lot of teams.
Yes, I do notice that. But well, let's see if they're gonna scatter around a little, because as of now, oh wait a second, Matrix, your alternative drop location is gonna be that of Agonex I8. This is gonna be an interesting one to watch. Seventh Element, as expected, the moment they drop, they want a fight in their hands, and they will get one. King of Spades,
Hey,
literally on top of them. Let's see how this
yeah.
turns out.
They don't have good weapons. Neither the players of Team 7th Element. So this is a really, really big question over here. T24 just has, I think that's a double barrel. And Gokubot has an SKS. No, I don't think so. These weapons are the best possible weapons to do the job. It will be very difficult for these players to do something with this. ExoX and Mamba in front of these players have better weapons. Now I think Seventh Element is depending a little bit upon the onto Divine and Oyan to get the loot as soon as possible and then come and help them in this fight. Now let's see if they do find something good or not, because I just see a Winchester for Divine.
Okay, this is gonna be super difficult for the side of Seventh Element. I called out their name the moment the map started, because I have seen this team rule on Miramar for a really long time. But let's see how it turns out this time around, because they do not have the right weapons, as you mentioned. Let's see what the fate holds for them. However, again, from the side of Mamba as well, it's gonna be an Uzi, which is fine for close range, but then again, only fine, not the best. So let's see how this turns out. Seventh Element still trying to go ahead and find themselves kind of spots and location inside the building itself, which are going to be more beneficial for their weaponry. But look at Faisal. He is going to be able to go ahead and ruin any player that is trying to make it in. Wait a second. Divine gets taken down already. Seventh Element has lost two players. And now I don't think it's going to be an easy crush.
Yeah, Seventh Element has been having a hard time in this game. Naruto will be able to confirm that frag, and that's the first one. The remaining two players are stuck in this compound. And they also, as pointed out earlier, one of these guys has an SKS, the other one a double barrel. King of Spades is better equipped as compared to King of Spades, so as compared to Seventh Element. So this will, I think, be done for fight. Oyan is also very far away. Naruto is also trying to join into this battle. So essentially, it has been made into a 4v2. Alian, in the meanwhile, yes, he has an M249, but he's not in the vicinity to provide any sort of support. So, seventh element, a lot of trouble their way.
Absolutely. It's going to be slightly difficult for Seventh Element to continue from here. They were able to pick up one revival, and that was a player who was able to, come back into the fight. But it's still going to be a 3v4. And in that, too, Alien is going to be super far away from the rest of the team. So let's see what the situation becomes for him. T24 OP is going to be able to hold himself into an unsuspected position. But wait a second, Gokubot being eliminated, and now the weaponry not supporting T24 either. Two knocks, and the only savior has been taken down as well. King of Spades off to a great start. Mamba will be revived, and they will be all four on their feet, with the four from the other team buried deep.
Easy job for the side of King of Spades, and we knew that this team used to perform very good in the South Asian region. They had two different drop spots. This time around, they changed it. They dropped towards water treatment, and not only they drop a squad of seventh element as well. So really good start, and looking forward to some good performance from the side of Team King of Spades. So really excited to see how do they continue the game in this particular fashion, because the previous time around we saw Magnus starting off with 4, they ended up with 13 frags overall. Can King of Spades sort of repeat the same thing? That's the biggest question I have.
I do want to see that happen, but to be very honest, Fritz, if I remember the way they used to play in the SA region when we were having fall SA, I noticed that this team likes to go for super aggressive frags towards the beginning and then waits for the fights to come to them until it is all the way towards the last few circles. So they do have a cold mid game. So let's see if that's going to be the same story here as well. They have gotten themselves into a much more aggressive drop location this time. So maybe they're trying to change their whole gameplay around. But if that's not the case, then we will be seeing a little bit of silence from their side moving forward for until it's the last few circles. In the meanwhile, Veladil Mar is gonna be filled with a couple of teams. I can already see 3x there. So let's see what happens here. And if I'm not complete, okay, so it's been a while since I did PMPL Pakistan, but I think I remember Zen being a part of Magnus in the last season. So I think that change has happened. 3x has acquired Zen, and now they are not only 3x, they are SR3x. So if I'm wrong, then I would definitely want someone to correct me on that. But I think that's an addition that has happened to 3x.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see 3x how do they perform in a better fashion with all these additions and changes happening to the roster. Uh, Tough on the other hand, they I think dropped in. They collided a little bit too, but it was SR3X who came out on top with one. And these are the only two fights that have happened. So looking for a little bit more fights. Wait a second, that's a Kobe. Volley just sneakily pushed in, found Falak, and the knock is there. Falak
Oh,
is trying to escape. Will he be able to? I think he will. Volley has spotted him down, but yes, the cover is being now provided by Blade. So Falak will be brought into a safer spot. But how do you get a guy down there to facilitate the revival? That's the question I have.
I don't think the revival is possible at all. But in the aggression that Maprex will show in trying to acquire that frag point, they can actually start losing players for the side of Agonex I8. This will be a sacrifice situation that Agonex will have to go forward with. But let's see how much value it puts for themselves. Because I think Maprex is currently in a very optimal place. Like they can keep moving forward and back, going for frags, going for aggressive positions, and then just moving a few steps back to be in a passive position to go ahead and acquire themselves more and more security. In the meanwhile, though, we can see Jiro trying to march right onto Blade, and that means that Agonex I8, the complete reinforcement that they had created, will be shattered now. Desert has also arrived to the occasion. However, Uzme is following back, but Jiro will be aware of that movement. Now let's see if Matrix is gonna be able to take care of this one single player inside the compound, because if that is possible, then they can go ahead and take care of Uzma as well. Otherwise, they are in a lot of trouble. This pickle has just gotten saltier, and right now, neither Desert nor Blade get any frags for themselves. The mollies, the nades, the utilities get tossed around, but not on the right floor. I mean, Blade is down in the bottom. Okay, finally. Desert now knows where he has to go, but then again, he does not have the right position for it. Mapetex is in a lot of trouble. In the meanwhile, though, Agonex IA do have that one revival that they have to go for, and I think support has arrived for Falak. Am I correct there?
Yeah. There was a counter knock happening, but this
Oh,
fight in
never
this
mind.
compound will make sure that I8 lose players. Blade also falls out. Falak's frag has also been confirmed. So Maptech started this fight on two different fronts. They wanted to not only eliminate Falak and Blade, but also send two players out to the remaining I8 guys. And on all of these fronts, Maptex have won their battle. So they are on the verge of eliminating the entire squad of Team Agonex I8. And another bad game has already started for this team. They were not able to show up on the map of Erangel. Miramar seems to be the same story being just repeated.
The IGL has already been taken out from the side of Agnex I8, and now it's one single player surviving. Let's see if Aiku will be able to go ahead and do anything for the team. We did see him in spring season during the Pakistan region being one of the top players when it came to elimination counts, but I don't think it's going to be the same story this time around. Three players together just going on marching right onto the face. That's not something you can battle. Not with a shotgun, at least. So
No.
there it is. Aiku will also get taken down, and on the 15th position, we see Agonex I8 getting 0 points for themselves and being thrown off the map already.
Yeah, unexpected, but this is what happens. This is what happens when you're a little bit too complacent. Because all that one knock onto Falak is what started the fall of Aegon Exide entirely. As you said, they should have already sacrificed on him, should have played with the three members remaining, and they could have had that possibility to, eliminate the entire squad in front of them, to eliminate the entire Mabetex players, but that was not the case. They tried to go for the revival. They spread themselves thin, and one by one just fell short.
They did, so they did. It's slight a difficult start for the side of I8, for the side of 7E. I'm also seeing 3X losing a couple of players. They're surviving with only two, so it's not very optimal for either. Tough has also lost M777X, so that's going to be another one taken off the charts. I mean, all of these teams are going to have a very struggling start, and also because of that, they are going to be suffering a lot of loss. If you take a look at the circle, though, 4MV right now has a very optimal spot inside of it, but then they have a lot of teams around themselves. They have IHC, they have 52 Esports, they have King of Spades, and they have NBeSports. In the meanwhile, though, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming will start losing players to the players of HVDC. And even though the revivals can come in as quickly as possible, it's not going to be the easiest run for SKYLIGHTZ Gaming.
Yeah, well, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they're not going to be in a very comfortable spot. Yes, SR3X Zen on the other hand are losing players. 52 Shoto, 52 Esports getting into the battle. Shoto has been able to get a knock onto one of these guys. So fights happening all around. Now there's zone closing somewhere around the San Martin city. I think Stalwart is sitting this one out. Otherwise, they would have been really happy with the zone.
That's true. Stalwart and Magnus, both the teams. Stalwart was looking for redemption. Magnus was looking for continuing the flow. Both the teams did not get the opportunity to play this game. Let's see how it turns out for the remaining ones, because again, having those two big names out of the charts definitely gives you, more confidence going into the game, because there's lesser number of teams that you have to really battle through. And now that the prediction time has come in, Fritz, this time I am gonna go for T2K, even though I feel like they're gonna start losing players instantly after.
Oh, okay, well. T2K is your pick. Let me see. I go 4MV. No, wait
Oh
a minute.
wow!
4MV is in a battle. Nah. Let's just hold the horses right there. Although they're winning it out. So, I mean, I could be correct overall. But DRS, man. Just go DRS. Is DRS playing? If
Yeah,
DRS is playing, I pick
yes,
DRS.
and it is Hacienda del Patron Circle. You can actually count on them on this one.
No, I just predicted a random team. I need more games to get in my correct prediction. So, yeah.
All right, so you're taking these predictions as luck based.
Yeah, that's true.
On those ones, I win.
But it's okay. I can at least try, nah? I can at least
Yeah,
try.
yeah, go ahead. Take your shot, just like East is, and he's also going to be able to take the knock. Now, Akash is trying to go back onto East. He did have the opportunity to run in, but he did not, and now East has healed back up. He's going to be able to go in, take another knockdown. Dog will give the support, and NBeSports will get taken out. I did think that they had a great spot for themselves, but the circle shifted exactly at the spot when the predictions came in, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not going for this. Not right now.
Yeah,
Saved
man.
myself.
It's okay. Well, on the other hand, if we have a look at Raw Esports, they are in this fight with Mabetex. Not the entire squad of Mabetex and not the entire squad of Raw Esports. It's just Praveen versus Leo. And if one of these guys fall, then it might just turn into a whole different story. But Leo is like, nah, not engaging into this fight. Very far away from my team. Let's not just take a risk. Falls back. Will try to maybe get inside the zone as quickly as possible and then move forward from there on.
Well, we'll soon see what happens for these teams. In the meanwhile, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming already struggling with the blue near water treatment. They are going to have a gatekeep situation with HVDC that's going to be hard to fight out of. But now that Sky has already been knocked, Roy is already in a lot of trouble. And Mabetex, the players of Mabetex are pretty close together and they will be able to squeeze more value out of this. But Raw, I mean, they do have themselves all the, slight ridges onto this hill itself that can give them enough cover to make Maptix want to run away from this battle. I mean, I like it when teams choose and pick which battle they want to participate in and which battle they want to withdraw from. But then again, you do gotta get all the value that you can from anyone that you participate in. Because again, you were able to knock a player for Sky, but then you weren't able to go ahead and complete that elimination. So not really the kind of value you would expect from a battle that you've already started. But let's see how it turns out. Matrix in the meanwhile looting the drop. Let's see what Leo got.
MG3 maybe.
Maybe.
That's a really powerful weapon in this map. On the other hand, the fights have
Oh.
also started. DRS, HVDC, 4FV is also in a battle. And in the meanwhile, we are still in this cold war between Roy Esports and Mabetex. Yeah, finally, we do go towards HVDC. Oh, sorry, King of Spades, who are fighting it out against SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. They have been able to get one knock, but the smoke and the revival is already being attempted, and none of the players of King of Spades have decided to push it as of yet. And how could they, man? There are so many teams nearby that the chances of third parties is just too good.
Exactly, on a map like Miramar, where we suspect third parties to be slightly lesser, considering that there's too much area and there's too much, long range weapons being a part of it. But then again, these teams, they just did not frag out anyone towards the beginning, and now the numbers are just dropping for everyone at the same time. Every single team is trying to take up a fight, every single team is trying to go in for the third party, and the numbers just keep switching around. DRS in the meanwhile will be able to get another one onto HR and T2K with two players knocked. What are you doing? You're my prediction. I was supposed to be lucky on this. Damn it.
Yeah, let's see. XMPL, nah, he cannot be
Oh,
brought back.
nice.
Jane has already been taken care of. It's a 2v4. Love also forced to rule Love out of the game. T2K down to just one. Rig. And he just get blasted off. The nade was perfect in HVDC. They are able to eliminate the entire squad of T2K.
I see. T2K with complete elimination that quickly into the game, and this being a Hacienda Dil Patron circle all over. I think DRS will have themselves another chicken, like two in a day consecutively. That would be a great start. In the meanwhile, though, if we talk about the remaining teams, 4MB has already lost a player, and they are still trying to make their way back in. Doc is going in to go ahead and scope out the area, find out where all the team can enter from, because more and more clearance will be required for the team to actually survive, considering they have lost a player. And also considering that the rest of the teams are trying to accumulate themselves towards the southern region of the circle. However, I do think that the next shift is going to be pretty southern. So, I mean, going all the way up north won't be the best position. But then again, there will be an interesting battle with HVDC that 4MV can become a part of if they do choose to follow Doc. In the meanwhile, though, players of Tough already in the crosshair of players of IHC, making life delightful for the side of IHC. And Raw, they might get sandwiched because Maptex has still not given up on this battle.
Yeah, now DRS Gyante has already been spotted down, and Wally is trying to connect that AWM. That's a very good thing if the AWM shot can be connected. The shot lands, but it's a body shot instead. So, first of all, thank you so much, Wally, for showing me the bolt action that I always crave for. Some headshots would be good too.
Let's see. Let's see if Wally is gonna go ahead and give you all of your wishes come true day today. But in the meanwhile, I feel like the place that he's already looking at is way far out in the blue. Nobody is in that area, and Wally has to go ahead and at some point realize that the areas need to be scoped out now. Considering that his own team is literally on the edge of the circle, he won't have much trouble trying to find out if the lower regions need to be cleared. But I think Jiggle will be in the crosshair soon enough. Sky being able to find one onto Tough and then being able to confirm that elimination is gonna be good, but the trade will come in from the side of Mabetex instead. Jiggle already losing HP, trying to heal himself back. Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
there we have it.
There we have it, yes.
Thank God. That, plus the surprise, it's surprise AWM, man. It's just so satisfying to see and even listen to it. That's just crazy. Would love to see some more shots from Wally. He has been able to get one more frag for his team. Maptech sitting up top in terms of the leaderboard. 5 frags already to their name, followed by HVDC and King of Spades. DRS still have all 4. So that's another good thing. Meanwhile, SR3X, they will be in a little bit of a trouble because it's only Knight surviving, and maybe he has to fight it out with Malik from Raw, which could come in as a surprise to that guy. On the other hand, IHC, they have already lost one. They are in the farther side of San Martin compound. They will be able to get that revival, but if the zone does not support them, I think so they're done for. They will be shot upon by 52 Esports. They will be shot upon by King of Spades. Don't see a way how IHC get inside the zone if the zone does not go there in their favor.
Oh, right now it seems like if the zone goes towards north, all the way favoring players of HVDC, it would be great for the side of DRS though. But well, the zone has decided to go towards the center. Not gonna be a very successful position for DRS, but then again, Killer is still gonna be revived because there's no fight that is happening in that area unless and until the revival takes too long and Matrix is able to make their way in, because Matrix is gonna be trying to go from the eastern region literally in the face of Killer Whitey. Let's see what happens in that position. As of now, if you talk about Raw, they're still having all 4 of their players online, but even after participating in multiple fights, they have only 1 frag point to the name. That is slightly sad.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is a little bit sad. But yeah, let's see. I mean, how do we see some changes happen? Because this 6th zone is again towards the city. So all these players will find these small little compounds to work with. Even Sky finds some little bit of ammo to extra ammo to work with. On the other hand, SKYLIGHTZ now are aiming for anyone who will try to rotate from a nearby spot. So they would just love to get any more frags that they can. King of Space still inside the zone. DRS still inside the zone. It is a huge zone with a lot of teams inside it because it's in a city. And these city file zones, and in the final few seconds, they are very, very chaotic.
Absolutely. Because of it being cities, there are apartments, there are compounds for people to survive in, and longer survival time means more and more players inside the last few zones, and that means more and more chaos. Just like it is right now between King of Spades and IHC, a crossfire being created by the players. Mama will be able to walk right in, get that elimination, and now with that knock, he will have enough time to go ahead and revive his fallen comrade as well. But wait a second. He's trying to go for the fights first. He's trying to go for the healing first on his own self, because the fights need to be rewarded. But wait a second. Faisal entering at the right exact point of time will be able to go ahead and put King of Spades in the winning situation one more time around. This team, no matter how many challenges you put to them in this particular map, literally has blessings to count. They're looking so good right now.
I mean, this team is just too crazy, man. King of Spades. A little bit, I'd say, a little bit too lucky in some instances, but they just play beautifully in this map of Miramar. Meanwhile, 4MB, they were trying to invade into one of these compounds of San Martin. They get taken down from behind by HVDC, who have brought their frag points all the way up to 5.
HVDC currently will be able to go ahead and march right onto the faces of Mabetex as well, and that's exactly what they do. Aero will get a knock. Rogue is looking for the second. He did misplace his crosshair just a little bit, but that's gonna be still enough for Mabetex to go ahead for that revival. Leo was able to relocate, and now that revival will happen. But wait a second. HVDC is not holding back. They did not know Leo is there, so they are gonna have to walk out of this initiated battle. but they are able to go ahead and deny that revival from happening. Now the nades will come in, more and more pressure will be built onto the players of Mabetex, and with Rogue already aiming onto Wally, that's gonna be another one that they can take care of. The circle just keeps shrinking on the same exact area, centralized pushes, and that just means more and more chaos. I cannot wait to see how this unfolds. In the meanwhile, though, Ryuk will be able to find Wally. Wally, however, has a better angle, and that's why Rogue will have to make sure that he does not go ahead for this fight.
Yeah, overpeaking is something that Rogue should avoid. Considering he's not inside the zone, HVDC need to find a spot that they can get in. Naruto, in the meanwhile, has been able to get that knock on to 52 esports. Does not matter. Both these teams have their separate compounds. So unless and until they decide to just push in, maybe throw some nades, Choto should get that revival, and 52 esports will be back with all four. HVDC, they finally pushed in. They have got those 6 frags to their name and now are neighbors of one of these teams. But I don't think so. That will matter a lot. In the meanwhile, SKYLIGHTZ, I believe, tried to push it onto 52 esports, or could be the other way around. But in any case, SKYLIGHTZ have lost quite a few players. It's only Mr. Boro who survives, and the other ones have just been taken care of one by one.
Well, currently it does seem like it's gonna be an easier run for the side of HellRaisers, though, because DRS, the team that was supposed to be the kings of Hacienda del Petron, lose players to HR. In the meanwhile, though, Mabetex also trying to make sure that HVDC does not have an easy entry. This position that Jiro is holding is gonna give way too much intel to the remaining players. And HellRaisers, again, an unexpected name, going on getting themselves more and more fruit to the fight. I just cannot believe the amount of chaos that has built in. And soon enough, we'll see another shift happen. That's gonna be even more salty, spicy, hot. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be fun. Now, Valung on the other hand is tossing a nade. King also, oh, Exo still survives. That nade was literally in front of his face on that box, and he still does not burst out. 52 now just sharing a compound with King of Spades. Naruto, Mamba, all these players in just one single compound. This could be a really fun fight to watch.
Oh, this could definitely be a fun fight to watch. Let's see what happens going forward, because as of now, 52 Esports do want to make sure that they take care of all of King of Spades. And the problem for King of Spades is that once the circle starts moving in, they're gonna be so much in trouble that 52 Esports will be literally dancing in rejoice. However, they should take care of the game first. In the meanwhile, though, we can already see players from HellRaisers getting knocked one after the other, and the players of 3X also getting eliminated on the 9th rank for themselves. Everyone that sustains now will have at least one placement point. But well, that's about it. That's about it. Nades being tossed in, King of Spades trying to find themselves an opening, trying to walk into the zone, but they will be caught. 52 Esports, as mentioned earlier, will be able to find those flags. Choto, right in his jump, will be able to take such a huge chunk of HP off of the players of King of Spades. It seems like right now King of Spades cannot find a footing no matter what they do. They started off with a blessing on their heads, and now they are fighting off against 52 Esports with nothing in their hands at all to begin with. Raw also trying to take a piece of the pie, makes it easier for 52 Esports to go ahead and grab those frag points. And right now, the only team with all 4 players alive is gonna be 52 Esports, and they are gonna make sure that King of Spades does not sustain. Beautiful.
King of Spades is also trying to get that revival. So Faisal will be brought back into the game. That was big before the nade just came in and got that knock. So Naruto will have to maybe get the 2 revivals, then move inside the zone, but 50 to lose a player. Roy Sports also gatekeeping the remaining teams in this scenario. Center of the zone still being controlled by DRS, so they still have that upper hand. But let's see how much can they make out of it. Another player being spotted out. King of Spades out of the game. Raw now trying to push in onto the remaining players of maybe 52. Very low HP for Jallad. Even Choto will now be forced in to take this battle, to take this fight. Raw Esports at some point or the other should be able to manage to get another frag point to their name. In the meanwhile, HVDC I think so also bites the dust. HR also out of the game. Mabetex have lost a player. Raw with just 2. DRS should be the one winning this one out.
Absolutely, absolutely. If and only if they do not repeat the same mistake. Last time around, they did find themselves with all four players, but then lost 2 to Nades itself. And that's gonna be a difficult run if it happens again, because this time everyone is so close enough. It's gonna be a harder battle. But right now, Rules is gonna be able to find Leo. Leo is gonna survive on very little HP for himself. The Nades are gonna come in, but DRS will still have all players willing to fight, ready to fight, with all their abilities online. Rules goes ahead, gets Malik, and now it's a 3v1v1 because the revival is out of question. Another shot comes in, Sky's position has been detected. Raw will not have any chance fighting this off. Little HP, no HP, all the same. And right now, it seems like with this last elimination, DRS will get themselves the second chicken. We've only had 2 games, they have won both. What is going on here?
I still remember a lot of people, just doubting the side of Team DRS Gaming. Snakes, of course, man, when they bite, the venom is just too deadly to deal with. And DRS with total 10 eliminations and 20 points will be able to put a strong footing in the overall standings as well.
In the new version, we've upgraded the security system. There are also some big updates to the real-time review system. Let's check them out. In this update, investigators can use the Eagle system to review suspicious players in real time during matches. Cheaters no longer have anywhere to hide as the investigators' vigilant eyes keep them at bay. If a player is caught violating the rules, investigators can report it in real time via the Eagle system. Once a player violation is confirmed, the PUBG Mobile security team will promptly impose penalties to maintain a fair gaming environment. Concurrently, we've added a new damage distribution chart and icons to the video progress bar to assist investigators in making more precise judgments. In this update, we've also added a bullet trajectory display, grenade trajectory display, and an unobstructed 360-degree view of the target to make it easier for investigators to make judgments when reviewing. If you have any questions about this update, please feel free to leave a comment. See you next time.
What a game, man. What a game we saw in the map of Miramar. The zone favors a team and they just make the most out of it. 10 total frags, 10 overall points at 20 point a game for Team DRS. They just repeated what they did in the map of Erangel. It's very consistently played, very beautifully played, and I would just love for this sort of a performance to continue for the side of Team DRS Gaming.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember when we were doing fall season PMPLSA for the side of the SA region teams, and then there were just way too many votes coming in for the side of DRS. It was always DRS favored voting from the side of audience. And today we finally see why. Because
Yeah, there we have
they
it.
literally started off with a blast and they continued it through. I mean, it was Hacienda del Pedron circle, and you know me, whenever it is that circle, I go for DRS. But then I was like, yeah, they just won a match. It's not gonna be like another one in the row. So I thought maybe, you know what, T2K, they have no fights coming in, but then the T2K gets eliminated instantly after. And then we see DRS get themselves the second chicken, and I'm like, what is even happening right now? Like, we just started off. Where is the competition?
Yeah, here it is. Correct prediction number 1. Correct prediction number one. They're the cool glasses that I usually love to wear. Man, what a game from DRS Gaming. It just predicted them out of nowhere. I thought 4 MVs in a fight. Now, usually what is happening is that 4 MV, they get into this battle, they get into this fight. They usually lose a player and play the 3-man squad. And I thought that would be enough this time around. So
In the new version, we've upgraded the security system.
they won the previous game. Hopefully they do it this time around. I don't even know where they dropped. I did not even remember at that time that they dropped in Hacienda del Petron.
They always
But
do.
at the end, everything just worked out. And even Rule is also the MVP of the game.
Exactly. And Hacienda del Patron is very lovingly known as King of the Hill, right? And I mean, they seem like the kings of the hill right now. Completely justified drop location for DRS. With 5 eliminations and 800 damage, the best fragging power is going to be coming in from the side of DRS again. It's again Rules. I mean, he is ruling pretty well right now.
And he is. The DRS definitely is doing a great job. Wally, on the other hand, as an elimination to his name, but look at the damage that this guy has done.
Beautiful.
I think the highest in the entire lobby, but was not the MVP because the eliminations were a little bit too short. Let's have a look at the match summary as well. So highest elimination rules, yes, damage in terms of damage, it's Wally out on top. Ryuk following him with just 3 assists, and the highest healing was achieved by a guy from Team Mabetex, that is Leo.
Yep. We do know Leo to be the highest fragger from the team, but he is going to be showing up on highest healing this time around because, again, the damage coming in from the side of his teammate was way too huge to neglect. In the meanwhile, though, talking about the overall points, this time around we have Mabetex coming in with 14 on the second position. The first position, as we already discussed, is going to be with DRS with 20 points. Now, here's the thing. DRS has way too many points right now. I don't think anyone has even touched 30 and they're all the way to making it into a 40-pointer in the next game itself. But if you talk about the rest of the teams that showed a lot of promise, I'm not seeing much coming in from their side. I'm not seeing much coming in from the side of 4MV, from the side of players of Agonex I8, not from the side of 7th Element either. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is falling short. There's a lot of names that were giving way too many belief to us to be like, these names are going to be in the top few, spots. But I don't see that happening right now. I do not.
Yeah, well, that's true, isn't it? They just have not been showing up to the occasion, and hopefully, they will be able to do it in the upcoming games. But let's see if they are. I mean, 39 points from 2 games for DRS. Just insane, man. Just insane. Let's see if they can get a hat trick of anything.
Oh, that would be
because
interesting.
now this is the match of Erangel. They've done it once. Let's see if they can do it on Erangel in the second fashion or not.
We'll soon figure out if and only if they do not belong to Group C, that is, because Group C won't be
that's
playing
also
this
there.
one. And I mean, if they don't play Erangel, then they will still be playing Sanhok, and it would still be considered a hat trick because, again, they are going to be playing those 3 games in circulation.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different thing to keep in mind. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be super interesting. I cannot wait to see how this turns around because, to be very honest, the fashion that DRS has started off in, this is absolutely mind-blowing. And I mean, they did lose a player at one point of time, and I was like, okay, DRS has lost a player. Now the team that we were thinking will be winning this is not in the contestation. But then look at the way things unfolded. Everyone else started losing players at the same time.
Yeah.
52 Esports was the only team with all 4 surviving. But then they were on so much edge of the circle that once the blue started pushing in, they could not sustain at all. In no time itself, they were completely gone. And DRS became the team with the most players alive. And I'm like, what is even happening?
All the things in the world just to get my prediction correct. That's what happened. These teams
Lucky.
play good, I know. But for me to make a prediction, that's rarely happens. Rarely luck is in my favor. So I suppose today all my other predictions are going to be correct as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, we will have to see. We will have to see about that. Has been a fun game. But now moving on to the second game of Erangel. This time around, I would personally say this because usually in South Asia region, whenever we had that plane path, I would say let the plane path go away from the military base area. Let's just not put it there. because again and again, Stalwart and 4MV have that good spot. This time, I personally want the plane part to go from that
Yes.
particular spot. Let Aegon X I8 and 4MV fight it out. I want to see that fight happen because all these two teams have a really good core strength in terms of the gunfights that they take. Stalwart also can go towards the overrep now. I think we also might have Regicide going towards the overrep now if that happens. I mean, we'll have to see about that. But if it happens, if both these teams play it out and drop into no overrep, another drop fight could be a possibility. So I really want the plane part to be rigged this time around, maybe by the PUBG gods. Let it be a military base plane path and let these two teams fight it out amongst each other.
Well, we'll soon figure out if that's going to be the story because, like, just like you, even I have wanted for it to be a military base, plane path, and not only that, I want it to be a
Okay.
military base circle as well. To be very honest, there is going to be absolutely, good shot of being early fights in military base itself. But then, if you see more and more teams trying to go ahead and acquire the same spots, the two teams that generally take this fight might want to settle it down a little if the circle also happens to come the same way. They would want to survive slightly longer. And once the more teams add onto this particular region, it's going to be so chaotic. I'm going to love witnessing that. And considering that this is, all the way towards the mid of the first day, chaos is all we want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Chaos is all we want, and chaos is what we've been getting. And yes, military base on the plane path. Would love to see now the drop locations of all of these teams. It is again a little central plane path, central-ish plane path, I'd say, because except for the extremities, like I think even Zarki is achievable. So only the extreme eastern parts of the
Milta
map,
power.
that is Lipovka, Milta Power. I'd say for a good reason, prison as well. All these areas will be a little bit difficult to drop on. You'll need to take a lot of time while dropping in these positions.
Or Stalwart is going
So
to know it.
yeah, let's see. I mean, how do they drop out? How do they want to play this entire tournament out?
Absolutely, this is gonna be super fun. But here's the problem: the reason we wanted it to be a military based circle is missing. Where is Egon XI8? They are in Group C. They're not gonna be playing this one. But in any case, we will see Stalwart and 4MV try to make sure that they get themselves enough spots inside. Stalwart is going to try to glide all the way towards Nova Repnoi. I'm seeing 4MV try to go towards the central area of military base as well. And we are seeing the players of King of Spades trying to switch up their drop spot. They used to drop towards George Pole and sometimes towards Zarki, but this time they're going to go all the way down south onto Primorsk. Let's see how this turns out. We generally have seen Faisal try to, go ahead and scout for the team, make the team follow him through. But look at the circle. Such a tease, this circle. Like, all the way, it gave hope for the players to drop onto military base, and now it's just gonna go all the way towards Georgiopol. Cool tricks.
Call it whatever you want, but that's where you'll have to drop in. So I am excited at least to see how all these teams drop in, how these teams decide to take those early battles and then rotate too, because for majority of these teams the zone is going to be in a very difficult spot. Now Reggie's side, they have dropped into Yazna and they've already got SKYLIGHTZ off their feet. He was STFL in the regional league, and this time around it's Reggie side. But the result is still the same. SKYLIGHTZ losing a player early on.
Well, SKYLIGHTZ, they have had a very bad curse on themselves for a really long time, and you and I have witnessed it all the way from the PMPLSAC season. I mean, they gave us a great run towards the league week 3, and after that, they started dropping down literally to the ground. And the same thing is following through into SAC as well, because I'm not seeing much coming in from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming overall. And now, them losing Mr. Boro that quickly into the game is going to be added, disruption for their own side. In the meanwhile, though, Seventh Element, again, a team that I have very high hopes from, could not really deliver much in the last game, did not even play the one before it. This is going to be the Erangel that they become a part of. Let's see if they're going to be able to take us by surprise on this.
Yeah, all right. And the meanwhile, though, we have 52 esports who have already started looting the city of Georgiapol Western compounds and Northern compounds. Call it whatever you want. Jallad, Hassan, Vadu. Choto, all these players, they are just looting for themselves. And once they find some decent loot, they will wait for the first zone to close it because they're literally in the center of it. And the other teams have already started to rotate, Leo being one of them. They can probably go to a Georgia Bowl containers area because nobody has dropped in that spot.
True that, true that. Let's see if Leo is going to be able to rotate to that spot because as of now, 52 Esports does not seem interested. No one else has already acquired the spot. And once Leo realizes that the circle is literally having Georgia Pole to the center, they should actually go ahead and make that move for multiple reasons. One being everyone is going to be entering the circle from either the eastern or the southern edge. They are towards the southern edge. If they go towards Georgopol, there's going to be lesser fights that they have to fight off and more area that they can capitalize on. If not Georgopol containers, then at least towards hospital, at least somewhere farther away from the southern edge is where I would want to see Leo. Same can be said for T2K and HVDC because all of these teams, the kind of play I'm seeing from them in SAC, they should try and avoid fights in the early stages, survive with more and more players for as long as possible, and then maybe try to go ahead and find some eliminations after they have already seen 6 to 7 teams getting eliminated to begin with. Because these teams are not having a very fun time going in for eliminations. So I hope that they try to manage themselves at least through position points.
All right. Well, it'll be fun to see. I mean, how all these teams pan out against each other. We could also call this a T2K zone. If it
Oh
ends
yes,
somewhere around
Suvarni. Yep.
shooting range, because it's still on the edge. But because most of the teams are still not inside it, you can see T2K also trying to put a good foot forward in this entire tournament. In this not the entire tournament, but in this entire game. So let's see T2K. They have already moved towards maybe around that bridge area because they just want to control it. Although the zone will be still posing a few questions in their mind. I think it's a spot to hold because if the zone goes towards the main island, you always have the bridge to rotate. But if it stays on the shooting range, there'll be a lot of teams trying to use that bridge to their own advantage, and then we will see a lot of frags flowing their way.
Well, absolutely. There's gonna be quite some interesting, fights coming in. But let's see. As of now, it definitely seems like there's gonna be a lot that needs to be done before any team is gonna invest into, taking up any battles. Because once you enter into SSC, the playstyle for all of these teams changes a lot. And the major reason of that being that all of these teams now want to survive, be the best, and get themselves some, podium placements overall. So they try to be alive for longer. They try to be cool towards the beginning. And again, the circle being in this particular position is giving the teams a lot of chance to go ahead, acquire their loots, come back in without much to, worry about. So that's just something that we can, keep an eye out for. But in the meanwhile, now that the circle has started shrinking in, for once, Fritz, I'm not seeing a late rotation from the side of 4MB. They generally wait for the blue to cross over before them.
Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, how do they try to use that to their advantage or not? Meanwhile, seventh element on our screen. Alyan does not have the best possible loot. Just a level 1 gear that he has, plus a DP28, and same for Divine too, man. This team did not have a good time looting in their area. Maybe they need to change their drop location, or maybe they're looking for that early fight to go forward with, so that they can just gobble up the loot of their opponent team. They will fight a fight if they just continue. Never mind, they are just having fun. They just slam buggies into each other and having fun, just trying to see what can be done in situations like these. Meanwhile, King of Spades, XOX, Naruto, both these players will be making their way inside the zone. Stalwart, as you said, are going in for a very late rotation, and so are the players of Team DRS. So all these teams will find themselves, let's say, the extremities of the zone. And once zone number 2 starts to close in, that's when we will see these teams back into action.
Pretty sure of that, pretty sure of that. And all of the teams will want to survive with more and more number of players alive. However, Stalwart being Stalwart might actually start a fight with DRS, and DRS is aware of that situation. So they're just gonna wait off behind the lines of Milta and walk in once the situation seems clearer. And in the meanwhile, Love literally just went in, took some shots, and is now walking back to the team. T2K just initiated a battle that they had no intention of bringing to an end, and now NBeSports has taken interest. They're like, if you're gonna scare away, we're gonna be the ones that do that to you. And look at the circle once. It has literally constrained itself towards Georgia Paul itself.
Yeah, that's true. It's a fun circle. It is definitely a fun circle to see. Now let's see dodgeable teams. How do they use it to their advantage? 4MV seventh element, a little bit of a fight. I mean, I think 4MV one of the players could have stopped the vehicle, leading to seventh element, throwing a few nades in this direction, but won't be of any use because 4MV is already off to their merry ways, and even seventh element should decide to rotate in because yes, they are on the corners of the city, but it's better to find a central spot because this is only stage number 2. After this closes in, that's when I'd like to see the teams prepare for the fight. So 4MV in the meanwhile, I think they are just clearing out the extremities. They're looking for any sort of late rotators inside the zone, maybe to take a fight or maybe to just have information about them in the later stages of the game. But yeah, for now they're just looking and just hunting for information. That's what 4MV is trying.
Let's see if 4MV will have any results to that, because as of now, even if they're trying to hunt for teams, this is outside the circle. But then again, you do want to make sure that inside the circle you do have yourselves a very, neat and tidy compound that you can stay inside, so that once the circle starts closing in and multiple teams decide to walk in, you have yourselves a position that can be held without much to bother about. In the meanwhile, though, now that the circle is not really a Siverny sided circle, we can make confirmation that T2K is not going to be the team that wins this off. But Mabetex and Regicide both losing players, but Regicide on the upper edge of it because Wally wanted to nade himself and did it very well.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate for Wally. Now, map tags, they will have to play with one player less. I think Regicide will be able to get their knocked player out back up as well because I think they will have enough time to get that revival, and this being just the second zone should not be a problem. But Desert could have been a little bit of a problem only if Senny landed his shots perfectly. He whiffs a lot of his bullets. Scope could be one of the reasons too, but yeah, Regicide with 3 elimination points, looking strong, man, looking strong.
Absolutely, absolutely. Regicide right now having all the fun for themselves. All four players online, already 3 frags to the name. Crippling map text literally to such a small number that the survival is going to be a question already. And now that the circle has also decided to move slightly towards the east, you can literally see the Georgia Pole Hills be in it. And who has the Georgia Pole Hills control? It's going to be Leo Esports. Scare away everybody. This is going to be a dangerous position and it's already taken. I don't know if teams are going to be able to find themselves a way around it, because this is going to be a scary one to fight off with.
Oh, that's true. I mean, it'll be definitely a scary fight. But meanwhile, I think DRS, they still are looking to get themselves a better position inside the zone. Georgia Paul Hill could be one of the prime positions which already Leo Esports have. So Leo Esports will be in a good spot overall. King of Spades also on the foothill from the other side. As soon as you try to peek in, Tops from very far away has been able to throw in some accurate shots and has been able to get Rule back on the ground. Revival is being thrown in, the revival will be done, and DRS then will move inside the zone as quickly as possible.
Well, DRS will be able to find themselves the best spot possible, but once they walk in, I do feel like 4MV and Stalwart might be a pain for them to fight off against, because HVDC will find themselves in a third party position, which is going to be super, super delightful for the side of HVDC players. But let's see who is going to start the battle first and who is going to be holding the upper edge on it for the further fights to come. In the meanwhile, we can see 52 Esports trying to rotate in towards the northern region, which is going to be occupied by the players of HellRaisers. But the nades have started popping in to no result, by the way. But wait a second. Now DRS Gante is pretty low. He will be knocked out as well. But Stalwart, considering it's only two players trying to take this fight and still creating so much pressure onto the players of DRS, I have no idea how. But Stalwart with only two players is still looking so strong right now in this position that it cannot be believed the way they are playing right now. Two players creating the amount of fear that four could, already making the players of DRS scared. And now the third chicken that we were expecting from the players of DRS, that seems slightly far-fetched thought. But then again, you never know. You never know. All teams might start losing players. It's just the way this is. But Leo, however, I do feel like will be in a much optimal situation going forward.
That's true. Well, Leo Esports will be in
Never
a
mind
good
me.
position. Okay.
So
Stalwart.
sorry. It's just the Georgia Paul Hills got eliminated completely from the circle.
It's okay. It's all good. Stalwart Esports, on the other hand, now will struggle because of a circle like this. They will have to get inside. They are just running into 4MV. I see finally figures it out and turns before it was too late. It could have been a lot of trouble for the players of Team Stalwart Esports, but now with that information, they can maybe go in for a better rotation. But do they know that Apex is so close? So up close and personal? No, they do not. I see falls. The trade is still not there, but there's a player nearby who comes in and action is essentially able to take Apex down and out of the game. Stalwart will also be able to get that revival, and with 19 more seconds left, I think the revival should be there, so will be the rotation.
Oh, Stalwart found themselves a much better situation. 4MV had the early knock. They were gonna be able to go ahead and find themselves in a better fighting situation, but the separation between the players just amounted to 4MV losing one without the revival happening. While Stalwart was able to go ahead and get their player back up, also have three complete eliminations in their backpack, and move forward with that. Now, Tops is going to wait around to see that the other players are able to walk through without much problem and then follow in. Because, again, if there was going to be a fight, it better be found out by a player who's not already inside. However, HVDC, they were just so much better at the aim. Tops got knocked instantly, but the revival will happen as well. So that's not going to be as much of a problem, and they are not in a notable region, so HVDC won't be able to capitalize on this knock. In the meanwhile, 4MV trying to fight it off against players of 3X. A player gets run over. Both the teams just constantly trying to see what can be done in this situation. And if I'm not wrong, Shamir boy, it actually belongs to a different team that literally found themselves way too many frags but never a chicken the last season around. But this time he's gonna be able to be in 3X and get himself more and more frags onto 4MV.
Meanwhile, yeah, 3X, they are just completely out of the game. Cairo did get a vehicle elimination, but 4MV and Stalwart Esports, a joint operation between these two teams, will make sure that SR3X will just have only one more player surviving in the game. And let's see for how long can Cairo survive. It's a little bit of a raid battle happening. Cairo has been tagged up a little bit. The vehicle run over is being attempted, but I don't think so. Yeah, Cairo is just out and about. Stalwart Esports, 6 frags, and I think the Giants are coming back into action.
Well, the Giants sure are. Stalwart Esports, with the number of frags they have right now, do look like a very promising contestant for this particular map, for this particular match. And if they're able to go ahead and redeem themselves for the performance they had in the last one, it would be a very optimal situation. In the meanwhile, though, 52 Esports and King of Spades trying to fight it off among themselves, and Leo, as I mentioned earlier, they had to get back down from the Georgia Paul Hills, did get caught in the action by Action himself, and now it seems like they're gonna have a really tough time trying to rotate into the circle. They do come in with a retaliation. Yetauda will be able to find a player from the side of Stalwart Esports, but now both of them being outside the circle are not gonna have a lot of fun. Not much.
Yeah, it's looking dire for this team. Magnus, on the other hand, also lose a player. Sekujin, very accurate with the shots. The smokes will be thrown in. You will be able to get the revival, but let's see how do you approach the zone. King of Spades under the bridge probably will go under the water too. They won't be able to breathe either. So King of Spades will be in a lot of troubles if these nades land. Sanchir, on the other hand, is taking care of Regicide's guy, and Noki out of the game.
Well, Noki does get taken out of the game, and Regicide with one less player will find it harder to go forward, as will every other team that is losing players in the meanwhile. But NBeSports, with all four alive, will be able to create so much trouble for the side of King of Spades. The number of utilities that are being used, and look at the way that you can see XOXOX survive for that long with all of that. He does get taken out after that, but like it was a really long survival with the amount of utility that got tossed his way. In the meanwhile, though, HellRaisers will get taken out completely, and Jane on the domination will now find NB Esports. Akaz is low on HP, but Jane just does not want to spot. He just wants to go ahead and keep on getting frags for himself, even from a very risky situation. Leo in the meanwhile losing players all the way to Magnus, to Leo, and also to DRS and Stalwart Esports. What is happening to Leo?
Leo Esports, they just had a really good spot, but after that, one by one, are just being picked apart. NB Esports, I mean, two of their players are down on the ground, and for some reason, Mondo felt like taking a swim. Now he will also be shot upon by Rick, and T2K, they are just enjoying all these frags. Although this enjoyment will be short-lived because they are also 100 meters away, and none of them is Usain Bolt, so they won't be able to get inside the zone very quickly. And they also have teams like DRS to deal with in front of them.
They sure do, but in the meanwhile, T2K will find themselves Regicide Roshan. Again, one of the players who had a miraculous 1v3 that he was able to squeeze in against the players of 7th Element the last time I saw him play. I do want to see Roshan shine again, but let's see if T2K will give him the opportunity, because as of now they seem to be running out of the battle. There is a dire need of healing equipments, so that's going to be a lookout that T2K is going to focus on. In the meanwhile, Jane finds another. Jane is trying to dive deep into this battle. He does not really have much support, but with the smokes that are lining up, he wants to go ahead and find players of NB Esports, but the amount of HP on himself will make him run away, heal up, and then come back in.
Oh man, this is going to be tough. Now, the sort of game that Magnus had the previous time around, I think exactly that is happening to T2K, and the final zone is also in a very similar place. Now, if all these things could be repeated, DRS would have got the chicken, but this time around with just two, I don't think so. DRS have their opportunity, so don't think so. DRS would be my choice if the predictions are asked. Now, NB Esports T2K, this fight is still going on. Mondo is the only one who could fight over here because Fizz Boy is still under the water. Cannot breathe, needs some help. The nades again and again chipping him down to very little HP. But the good thing is, he survives the biggest, I'd say, the problem for now. Because he just survives for now, not for long, because the zone is not also not with them. Plus T2K, a 4-man squad. That fight is not going to be easy.
Absolutely. T2K right now on a roll will be finding themselves good number of frags, will be surviving with all four, and Magnus, a team with 13 eliminations in the last one that they played, is right now stuck with only 2. Now you cannot really blame them. There's a lot of teams that are stepping up. Stalwart got 8, T2K got 9. If you're not able to face players, how will you pick them apart? Regicide got 7 for themselves as well. Like, a lot of teams have way too many frags, and that means you have lesser players to spot. In the meanwhile, though, HVDC trying to march right onto 7th Element, and this Nitrous School squad, I want to see how they turn out to be.
Oh, Aero though is the first one to get a knock, although there's a counter knock by a nade that Goku bot sent in. Oh, T24 is just trying to bounce those nades off of the wall. That's another good nade. Aero falls. Ryuk has been taken care of. So HVDC, they came in for a fight, but they're taking a beating over here. Divine gets third partied a little bit, but another nade from T24 will reduce the players of HVDC down to just 2.
Down to just 2, and that too not in a very optimal situation. The revival cannot happen.
Oh,
Another
never
nade
mind,
will
GG.
come in, and well, the complete elimination will happen for HVDC. T2K from 7th Element, a team known to be cool, will just fire up every single player from the side of HVDC. In the meanwhile, Stalwart Esports will also get eliminated on the 8th position, so 9 eliminations and 1 placement. That means they still hit a double digit, but not as much as one would expect for them, considering they were trying to redeem themselves for the first game. In the meanwhile, though, Magnus with all 4 players still online. Let's see how they do. 2 players have been knocked, 2 players are still in fighting position, but for how long is the question. With 11 eliminations to the name, T2K again still with all 4 players surviving, while rest of the teams will be suffering with player loss that they have to cover up for.
All right. Well, Magnus right now, they do have a good spot on the edge of the zone. Plus, with them, only T2K is the only team with all 4 players. And I think Rig might just get eliminated as soon as he tries to cross the river. Jane is also in the water, so probably he is trying to figure out the last remaining player of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. That is no fear. Just trying to get that final frag confirmation. Meanwhile, DRS this time around without any eliminations will be eliminated. No fear falls to Divine Scarel. And one by one, the players have been just taken down. Rig, he is trying to make it across to the other side of the map. But there's a lot of heavy fire being thrown in from the side of Team 7th Element. But look at the zone. It falls in the favor of the 2-3 guys of T2K who are inside the zone. Even Regicide's player in between that fight of 7th Element and T2K survives on the little piece of land that is present behind a rock.
Exactly, Roshan will be able to find himself in the top 5 teams and probably in the top 4 because 4MB might soon be eliminated. In the meanwhile, though, if you take a look at Magnus, they are still trying to find themselves an entry point, and it's going to be difficult considering the whole southern edge is being watched by the players of 7th Element. Rig now gets spotted, but he has walked in with his vehicle right into the water, will be swimming out, but the moment he does, I seem to feel that T24 OP will be able to get that frag for himself. But wait a second, he decides to move back. He decides to walk right into the vehicle with Divine and reposition himself. T24 OP getting knocked on the ground makes it difficult for the players to find more and more frags, and 7th Element now with only 2 players is gonna find it very hard to make it through.
Oh, 4MB out and about. T2K 13 frags already to their name, and even though the zone was not with them, they seem to have a bombastic performance this time around. The only team in their competition, Magnus Esports. Only and only if they can eliminate Magnus in the next few zones, they should be the ones coming out on top as the victors. I mean, 7th Element will be also another team to look out for, but with a 3-man squad, this is looking a little bit difficult for them to do anything about it. Now, T24 has been spotted down just behind the rock. The zone is also not forcing him out till now. So XMPL cannot do much about it. Has 2 nades, but the player is a little bit too far away. Rig in the meanwhile gets 1 knock, but Zibian is instantly present over there to get that trade.
Well, Rig definitely does get knocked down now, but he will be brought back to life soon enough because there's very close presence of another T2K player who's going to be able to go ahead for that revival. And T24 OP from the side of 7th Element does not really have much to hang on by because 7th Element, after losing another player, are standing with only 2. Regicide has only Roshan trying to flutter the frag, but if you take a look at Magnus and T2K, both these teams have all 4, and 7th Element losing another will make it easy for Magnus to go in for that frag. But Finney getting knocked down will give another opportunity for T24 OP to actually come back forward. But then again, considering he's a solo survivor, he won't actually do that. T2K, however, aware of the information, will go ahead, confirm the frag, make their numbers look brighter than sun. Now Roshan being the one in the fight, a ring around the roses and the frag for Jane.
It's a big wave, Roshan. For I'd say 5 seconds, T2K guy was unarmed, but he was still not able to make the most out of it. A big wave coming in, and now Magnus have also lost 2 players in the process. 7th Element is down to just 1. So T2 make it 0 because Jane's nade is just too perfect. T2K are out for blood. They are out on a rampage. And it seems like they are out for the chicken as well. They have already cut off the players of Team Magnus by a little bit. Zibian, yes, he's able to get that knock, but the position that they have is not good. Although Finney also tosses out a nade. Now suddenly a 4v2 gets converted into a 2v4. Finny is trying to take some shots onto Jane, but then XMPL tries to cover for his teammate. Zebin is down to very little HP. He also needs to reset, which he will. But Zebin gets taken down. Jane with some good shots. And now it's a 2v1 in the favor of T2K.
T2K might actually be able to have the highest fragging chicken today. Look at the way they're playing. They already knocked Zibian, and if Jane is able to confirm that frag, he will have 9 to the name. Let's see if the second nade is gonna be right. It is!
Beautiful.
It is! Jane will be able to get the last 2 frags as well, and with 10 eliminations for Jane alone, this is gonna be a huge chicken dinner for the side of T2K. Bombastic performance. This is the one that deserves the adjective.
Oh my god, 18 eliminations overall, 28 total points. T2K overall rank, #2.
Welcome to Airdrop Carnival. Let's have a blast. This is for you. Let's play together. Let's take a break. Watch me shine on stage. I hope you can remember me.
Alright guys, back after a short little break, but what a banger of a game, man.
Yes.
T2K just hopped in, just jumped in and took everyone down. What a great performance, man. What a great performance. And the first 3 games, the first to go to DRS, the third one goes to T2K. These teams have been having one hell of a day. Huh? The entire Nepali region just woke up and chose violence today.
They did, they sure did. And the kind of frags for the side of T2K. I mean, 10 eliminations for Jane alone.
Yeah,
18 eliminations in total. And a 28-pointer chicken for T2K. How do you compete with that? On the first day, they just started off with a very impressive performance. It's just, I mean, I would have to literally go ahead and repeat your point. They chose violence. They woke up and chose violence.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, man, T2K, DRS, even there was another squad of Magnus, but that was only for the game number 1. After that, we did not see them in game number 2, but this game number 3 also, they were sort of quiet. They did come in top 3, so consistency has to be given to the side of Team Magnus Gaming, Magnus Esports, I believe. But when it comes to chickens, man, that's where T2K is thriving. That's where DRS is thriving. 2 games back to back, phenomenal. This time around, the third game was not the best possible one for DRS because they had 0 elimination, ended on the 7th spot, so they only have 1 point from this game. They just made it 40 points from 3 games. So that's how the game entirely went. But yes, it has been a fun 3 games in this tournament till now, and would like to see, man, how does it continue. If it continues in the same way, if T2K can perform in the same way, it will be fun to see what they can do in the entire tournament itself.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be super essential to see consistency coming in from the team that is giving us such an amazing performance on the first day itself. But again, considering the way their performance was in the last tournament that we had right before this, I feel like consistency is something that T2K kind of lags behind in, but let's see if they're able to change that around. I'm seeing only 9 eliminations for the side of Jane. I think I definitely thought it was going to be 10. because the last two frags were taken by his mate. But let's see. I guess one of them was play zone. I don't know. But yeah, with 9 eliminations, he's still looking super good. 966 damage. I mean, half the eliminations of the squad were taken by this player alone.
50% of the job done. That's about it. That's where TDK Jane is able to show the best possible performance and has become the MVP of the game. Now we'll also have a look at the other players who did a great job in the game. So except for Jane, who were the players who stood up for their team. Rick, 5 elimination, 1000 plus damage for the guy. So it was like Rick was getting majority of the knocks and Jane was just confirming it. Or majority of the damage. Like Rick gives 90 damage, Jane 1 bullet. Bro, I got a frag. So cool, so cool, huh, Jane? So cool. You're stealing frags of your own teammate. But it's fine. It's all fine in PUBG Mobile. So Rick was, well, would be a little bit salty, but 5 eliminations is not that bad. Zibian from Magnus got 4. XMPL as well showed up in the tally with 788 damage, 3 eliminations overall, and T2 4 from 7th element. So all these players, they had a great impact in the game. If we talk about the match summary, it's more like T2K's team card with a little bit of addition from Regicide's Roshan.
Exactly. Jane with highest elimination, Rig with highest damage, Turulov with highest assists, and then Roshan for the highest healing done. I mean, T2K did go ahead and step up all the way to a next level in this particular match. But then again, we do have to see how much they are going to be able to deliver in the coming ones. This wasn't a T2K circle. It did not go towards Siverny or shooting range, but they still got themselves out there. And a team that we used to keep saying was bad at rotations, this time rotated multiple times and got themselves the chicken dinner as well. And that too in a very dominant fashion.
Yeah, let's have a look at the match rankings too. T2K, of course, we've already seen this. 28 points is what they got from this game, followed by Magnus, who had 13. Regicide in the 3rd spot with 11 points. 7th element with 11 points as well. So all these teams are slowly and steadily coming back into contention. Stalwart only 9. Eliminations great, but when you talk about the placement points, it's not that good at all. But yes, man, Stalwart, 4MV, all these teams, they just perform on the last day. So still waiting for that for day number 4 to maybe let the teams give them a little bit of slack till day number 3. Day number 4 is where they perform.
Exactly. I have similar history report for the side of Agonex i8 as well. But well, as of now, we are going to be walking into the 4th match of the day, which is going to be on the map of Sanhok.
70% luck, 30% skill. Right away, just let me clear it out. And you look at the graphics as well, guys. Just behind us, somewhere around there, you already see the map being. So even if we forget to tell you, figure out. I know you guys are smart enough to figure out what's going on. So just look at the graphic behind us, figure out which the next map is going to be. For now, is going to be the map of luck. Oh, sorry, the map of Sanhok. So if the zone does not fall in your favor, you're done for. There's just no way, because 8 teams will shoot on you. Don't think so. That's a position you'd like to be in. So maybe or carry 15 smokes each player, so that you're able to smoke the entire left zone, so that you're able to get inside it as effectively as possible. But sometimes that also won't work, because then there's a team right above you who is taking some shots. I'm just fed up with this map. But again, we'll have to see how these teams pan out, how these teams will be able to perform on this map.
Absolutely. Sanhok is gonna be one fun ride, because again, as you mentioned, there's a lot of luck involved in a game like this, and we will be seeing a lot of teams come back into the fight, into the contestation. We will see Agonex i8 play this one out, because they weren't here for the last one. We will see players from the side of Raw as well show up after a match's break. So Tough also will be showing up on this one, and I think even IHC sat the last one out. So all these 4 teams will be able to finally step in and give their performance to us. In the meanwhile, if you talk about the plane path, let me just tell you, you don't need to talk about the plane path. Everyone reaches everywhere with no problems at all. This is a tiny little map which is very easy to navigate on. But again, let's see who's gonna be going where, because it seems like Agonex i8 and Stalwart might be finding themselves on to bootcamp.
Yeah, bootcamp. Is there a fight happening around bootcamp as well? That's another big question that we have. But yeah, guys, with that, we also have a little bit of a change on the cast today. So I would love to welcome Hassan. Hassan, welcome to the stream, man. I was missing you. I wanted a little bit more details into all these Pakistani sports because I am completely blank. But yeah, Regicide right now in that fight against Team Liquid. Team Leo.
Yeah, definitely, and that will be a heck of a fight, I must say. But Team Leo, they had some plans for R3G, and now R3G have lost already 3 of their players. Last man standing, Noki it is, going against Liquid, and Liquid will take care of this final one, and it's over. I wasn't expecting Leo to be this, I would say aggressive toward R3G, because R3G are the one pretty aggressive. But this time around, they had some different plans, and Magnus is down as well. What is going on? And the third Pakistani team.
I mean, this is the fastest start that we have ever had till now in the entire tournament. This is just crazy, man. This is just crazy. Magnus, Regicide, 7th Element, all these teams out of the game, and even Leo and NBeSports have lost a player each. So a lot of fights happening around this Sanhok map. I believe teams are still figuring out where the drop clashes are, where the other teams drop in, and that's why we've seen so many fights happen at the same time and so many teams being eliminated this early on.
Yeah, because some of these drop fights in Sanhok were pretty much expected early on. Before the SAC, we were contemplating that how these teams gonna manage between these fights. Are they gonna share their drop locations, or we will see some heads-on early fights? And we just saw 3 of the teams. They just had to leave early on, and I guess the Pakistani side, the PMPL teams from Pakistan, weren't ready for this kind of aggression coming from the South Asian teams and South Asian players. But anyhow, that was one thing to start with, something unorthodox. But once again, Team Tough about to lose one of their players, but Tarzan surviving on that Slitherfin HP. And IHC, I feel like they have some sort of plan for Team Tough as well. They have well read how Tough is going to drop all of their players around Quarry. And now they are just kind of holding their crossfires, making sure that none of the Tough players could escape from this vicinity right now. But 3 teams, Fritz, it looks like this was a well-curated plan for these 3 teams.
Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, they neither MGS, R3G, 7th Element, they were not able to take a lot of players down with them. So Leo just lost 1 and we lost 1. Other than that, it was just the entire squad being eliminated. And especially the Leo fight, I thought Leo should have been taken away, should have been taken care of, because that was a 2v3 that went into the favor of Leo. And again, shotguns are just too absurd. That's what happened in that fight. There was just a DBS around the corner and it just went boop boop, and 2 players also were completely taken out of the server. So would just love to see that weapon being nerfed out. But the rest 12Ks and the other shotguns are also now being more utilized because of it. And well, that's what happened in that earlier fight. And this time around as well, Tough X Tarzan has already been spotted down, and you already see ISC, just circling around him. Zeol probably has relayed the information of the remaining players of Team Tough, or of about who has he seen around the map, and Demo is rotating accordingly. And IHC is looking for that early battle. They love to take those early fights. They love to get some frags early on. That usually boosts their confidence.
Yeah, early on, this kind of fights, and if you are able to finish these fights without losing your players, it gives you that boost in the matches like Sanhok. Sanhok is all about gunslinging, and if you have this kind of confidence early on in first few minutes, God knows what kind of wrath you will unveil on the rest of the lobby after all this chaos. But anyhow, moving forward, guys, 3 of the teams have already left the lobby. They will be watching this whole action from the benches, but right now, seeing the situation of our circle is mainly toward the main island, centralizing boot camp and the surroundings. And down south, I only see one team, High Voltage DC, right now camping outside the circle. Rest of the teams have already made their way in. But at the same time, on the Camp Alpha Island, Sky, Raw, as they are well known for their late rotations, are now just planning to actually step their foot into this party, which is about to happen. But right now, a lot of these teams, Fritz, the way they are placing themselves right dead center, as I can see HR, they have moved in early on. Looks like there will be some sort of a quick, compact chaos situation between all of these teams down there.
Yeah, I mean, all of these teams are eyeing out for the central area. You look at ToughX, you look at IHC, even HellRaisers, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. All these teams are so close by that it's all it takes is one fight between either of these two teams, and you'll see third and fourth parties happening. Already, I see Leo just bumping into 4MV, and that's
no
not a fight you'd
way.
like to take this. Apex just gets a couple of frags. Slipknot's like, nah, I'm out of here. He just takes a U-turn, goes onto the other island, and will try to figure out a different way to get inside the zone.
Different way, or maybe no way, I must say. At this time, the theory proves itself once again that you can never use vehicles in Sanhok. Sanhok is all about, you know, marching in on your feet and you know, start finding your way inside the circle, because whenever you are on a vehicle, it gives you this kind of situation that you cannot react, you know, proactively in these kind of situation. And Doc, right away, both of these teams were trying to, you know, exit the vehicle, and both of them got eliminated right there. But at the same time, you know, you have to be slow, and at the same time, on foot is better, I must say, in terms of vehicle. See, as you were trying to park uphill, couldn't even aim properly, and 4MV took the total advantage and took both of those players. Right now, this been a chaotic start. We have seen almost 14 to 15 players already leaving for the lobby. One more shift on the circle as well. On the side, let's give you guys an update where circle is now moving slightly down south and giving a centralized shift, you know, centralized position to bootcamp. And it's a southern shift right now. 4MV, they're situated very nice. STE is also nearby in bootcamp. They might not have to leave, you know, for anywhere at this point of time. But looks like teams on the eastern side, Fritz, will be dealing a lot of problem. I don't see most of these teams surviving in this kind of, you know, close packed situation where Tough is down south, IHC is close by, HR is right between SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and also from the east side, High Voltage is joining inside the circle. So it could possibly a heck of a fight between these 4 to 5 squads.
Yeah, I mean, the circle is going to play a very crucial role, because for now they do find themselves inside of it. But if it goes back towards the western side, if it again falls into the favor of 4MV or Raw, you'll see a bloodbath. You'll just see a bloodbath between all of these squads, and they will just be hoping to, you know, get inside the zone. I mean, for now, HellRaisers, they do not have much information on what's happening on the left-hand side. It's only the players of Tough who know that somewhere or the other, IHC players are nearby. But Stalwart, in the meanwhile, they are in this fight with Team T2K. And Turul, he was lost. He did not even know that Stalwart was still present over here, and just gets run over too. Instant confirmation of the knock, and T2K left with just 3.
Oh, no more love for T2K. You know, it looks like T2K gotta live this life without any true love. So right now, Stalwart Esports, they are slowly and steadily closing in, and the situation looks like T2K is surrounded. Look at SRX3X, they're on the back lines as well. This hillside could possibly be the final resting place for T2K as well, but Jane getting some chip damage from STE action. Rig is also knocked out. MPL getting third party from IHC. Exactly. What is happening? And now it's last man standing. T2K Jane, whose position was already revealed, and a utility will just mark an end to the T2K, but slowly and steadily T2K, rest of the squad is pushing in, and STE will confirm this elimination. 4th team getting out of the match is T2K on the board, and now STE with some early success. 3 eliminations to their name, but at the same time they have gave slight of an idea, the teams IHC and SRX3X, that they are somewhere close by. So it could possibly be another fight breaking in anytime soon. But Stalwart Esports, they have a good position. I'm just slightly, you know, afraid they might lose it, because the way they are spread it out themselves, this could be detrimental, Fritz, because in Sanhok, you gotta be close, you gotta be packed, you should be always careful about your surrounding. And once again, in the kill feed, SG strikes from the back on IHC, and meanwhile Circle is about to shift as well. this could be a full-fledged fight for SG, and I am pretty sure SG won't be able to survive because HR's attention will also be drawn into this fight, Fritz.
Look at the zone. Shifts towards boot camp. Now all these Eastern teams have to make a run for it, and then they'll be engaged into fights like these. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they want to run over a few players of Team IHC before taking that fight. Zion is still down on the ground, so you better be quick on your feet. Alex is trying to create a 1v2. He still gets one. The DBS again is just too absurd, but the trade, it is present, and no fear will also be brought back onto the foot.
Yeah, but at the same time, some of the players' position is also revealed, but SG getting once again another knockout. IHC have a total control, and now IHC will make sure that SG won't survive. These players will be flushed for sure, and HR is also close by. This could also break into a third-party fight as well, but IHC lost one of their players, but got two of the players from SG. SG with two players surviving, or I would say might be one only, because HR took the players as well, but High Voltage, they want to join in. The third party is possibly another situation where HR would like to join. I know HR, these guys are pretty anxious. They hear gunshots around themselves, and they like to participate, they like to join the party. But High Voltage, IHC, Team SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, all of these three teams are right now in a close quarter combat, where IHC is pretty much pinched between High Voltage. I don't think so. High Voltage would give some time, but Romeo boy strikes, but at the same time, Next also get knocked out. This could put a pause to the whole process. HellRaisers won't be able to raise any sort of hell on High Voltage, and this will provide some time to the players of High Voltage to rest their player, but utility being dropped. HR Next will get revived as well. Both of these teams will take care, but another nade from Romeo Boy will take down another player from High Voltage. High Voltage have two of their players down. High Voltage wasn't expecting this sort of fight coming from the side of HR uphill, and now High Voltage have three of their players, pretty much pinched between HR and IHC at this very time, Fritz.
Yeah, I mean, HR, they are looking really good. Although they did not pressure too much, because I think they fear the third party a little bit. Otherwise, HBDC could have been a team in trouble. They have lost a player. They have taken a casualty. So HBDC really need to be careful.
Another nade!
It's just not happening. It's just not happening for HBDC. They get that revival, but they fall. And even Ryuk goes down to a player of Team Tough. So HBDC facing the gun of a barrel. Oh, should I say barrel of a gun? But 4MV on the other hand, they are trying to jump spot the players of Team Raw Esports. Apex is taking a lot of shots. Tree too thin, but still provides him enough cover to get that reset.
Oh, a quick reset is much needed. High Voltage, I feel like they're about to get eliminated. High Voltage are done in this match, but at the same time, Team HR getting one of their players knocked out as well. 4MV, now they have to keep this place in check against Raw, and another knock on the players of Raw, and two of the players are done, and Raw officials are out. 4 Miracle Wives are right now pulling off miracles.
Wait,
and what just happened? IHC confirmed HR as well. Oh my goodness. Team HR couldn't stand the wrath coming from the side of IHC, and only 3 points to their name, but third party happening on the players of HR as well. IHC and Tough took care of both of these squads, and in just a few moments, we have seen around 7 of these squads getting eliminated, and now it's all down to Stalwart Esports.
They got debated, I think, HR. They thought that they got so many frags out of HBDC, they will push on to HBDC and confirm them. But instead, the other team was waiting for them. IHC had already gained position, gained momentum, and that's where they've been able to just get the job done. So, great thing from IHC, but at the same time, a little bit unfortunate for the side of Team HR, because those days were really, really good. But they also get those eliminations, but at the end of the day, when there's another team waiting in front of you, that just does not go in their favor. It happened twice today. The first time it happened with the players of Team 4MV, where they took care of 3 I8 players. They thought that there's a solo guy remaining, but this time around it was Magnus who had their whole squad ready in a compound. Just a very close by compound where the fight was going on. They thought, let's just finish him out completely. They did not go in for the revival of the fallen player, and they just got completely eliminated. And again, the second time, this time it happens with the players of Team HR. So a little bit unfortunate for all of these scenes, but they have to calculate these things, especially on the map of Sanhok, where literally you can have two different teams sitting on the same hill and not fighting amongst each other, but taking their enemies down.
Yeah, Sanhok is a funny map, I must say, in my opinion. It's totally different. You never know which team will be the victim and at any time who will get eliminated. But talking about predictions, it's my first one. So let's go with the Team Agonic side. I feel like the position they have in the circle, they might go with the winner chicken dinner because they will be backstabbing Stalwart Esports anytime soon. But Fritz, what's your pick? I'm curious now.
I'd like to go with NBeSports. They're outside the zone.
Good
They're
choice.
outside the zone on the eastern part of the map. But usually what I see, they like to take fights as a team. And having 4 players will definitely help their cause. That's what I think. Plus, they don't have a lot of fights to take right now. So they just have to move in straight.
Good
But
choice.
that is at least I know because there's the map in front of me and I see all the players out there. But NBeSports, well, they will have to figure out how do they want to rotate. Otherwise, they just might run into a whole stat squad and lose a little bit of players and entirely lose the game after all.
Yeah, the possibility is there because SRX 3X, they're up north, pretty close to Agonic I8, but still SRX would never mind, picking some of the frags on NBS while they're trying to get inside the circle. But SG, one of their solo survivor, Mr. Boru, is there. At the same time, IHC can pinch down the players of NBeSports, but 3X, they're pushing forward. Knight get eliminated. Fallick's position is already revealed, but Nade will go in and will confirm one of the players, but the utility from the side of NBeSports also joins in. Agon XI8 got one of their players knocked out. Cairo is still low on HP, but will get confirmed. Agon XI8 will take care of them, and SRX3X with only 1 elimination to their name got eliminated, but at the same time, Agon XI8 will pick up their players. NBeSports on the other side, confirming some eliminations on the players of IHC. But NBeSports, what are they doing? Are they taking fights across the map? And down south, they're keeping Team Tough in check. And at the same time, Team Tough losing their players to the play zone as well. Agon XI8, 4 Miracle Vibes in Stalwart Esports right now in a very favorable situation to win this one. But Tough losing players right, left, and center. Leo will take some of their fair share as well from Tough. And M7 get eliminated as well. NBeSports with utility will take care of the final player of IHC. Godless low on HP. Tarzan gets eliminated to the zone, and Tough gets off for the lobby on 8th position. NBeSports Mondo confirming the elimination, and only 2 players of NBeSports are left. I'm not sure, Fritz, if you're still, going with your pick, but at this time, I don't see like NBeSports with, favorable utilities or resources to actually win this one.
Yeah, NBeSports, they're in deep trouble because even the zone in a way is not the best possible position for them. But hey, let's see. I mean, let's see if they're able to do something about it or not. Stalwart look in a very, very good position overall. In the meanwhile, we have 4 MV just throwing a barrage of utility at Slipknot. I mean, he tried to change rooms, yes, but every room had at least 1 Molotov burning there. Slipknot is not able to escape the wrath of 4 MV, and they are also able to confirm another frag. Great job done by them, but this will give away their presence. I8 going in a little bit aggressive. They want to see how much map control can they get, and that's a really good thing because just being constricted to one single compound won't win you the game. Essentially, you would have to move out of there, and them taking the initiative right now where there are a lot of fights happening around the map. That's the best possible way to go about it.
Yeah, that's a possible way to go about it, but NBeSports right now getting gate kept. Sekujin is knocked out. Mondo, the star player of the team, is still surviving with 4 of the eliminations to his name, but Sekujin takes down Mr. Boro. at the same time, 4 MV's Baron takes down Sekujin once again, and 3 of the players from 4 Mickle Wives are pushing forward, but Mondu have some plans, but a jump shot from Doc 922 will confirm, but STE at the same time, they want to confirm those eliminations. Agon XI on the back lines will get some time for themselves to actually get inside the circle, but Stalwart Esports, they are getting peppered on from the back. Agon XI Uzum confirms one of the kill, and Falak will take the last man standing of 4 MV down to 2 of these teams. 4 versus 3 it is. One of the players from Stalwart Esports is already knocked out will get revived as well. That will be an interesting fight. But angles from Aegon X8 are really subliminal, I must say. Team STE top will have no idea where exactly the players is, but IC will strike, take down Falak, will get confirmed right away. 3 versus 3 it is, but IC get knocked out in the process. Team Stalwart Esports, they are right now on the receiving end. Aegon X8 pretty much in a total control, but IQ confirms IC and takes down Action, his last man standing top right on the rooftop, and we'll see this happening to his team from up high. And at the same time, Stalwart Esports top. Let's see if he will be able to clutch this out. 3 versus 1 it is. Aegon X8, a hard team to clutch on, but Blue Zone is the worst enemy of esports at this very moment. Aegon X8 realizing the last player have to get toward them, and that's the reason why they're not over-aggressing. Uzum on the flanking angle. There you go. A push coming forward. Players are closing in, and now they are gatekeeping the circle. Uzum once again strikes hard, but gives a chip damage. Players will push forward. Confirm the elimination. Aegon X8 wins the winner chicken dinner. Oh my goodness. Match number 4. The final match of the day. I believe so for them, but I'm not sure which group Aegon X8 is. I haven't checked the groups yet. But pretty much a good match coming from the side of Aegon.
Hey, great job done by Aegon X8. We were hoping that they will finally show up. They did. They did in the map of Sanhok.
They did.
Alright guys, welcome back after this short little break that we have. And Ehsan man, you are back with a bang, huh? As soon as you get in, you are asked the prediction is correct. I mean, I didn't get one correct, but it was against Ahana. And this time around, you came in IA. It's like you just came in and the Pakistani region felt the wrath and they are back into contention.
They are actually, you know, the funny thing was, it was a pretty obvious one because the only deciding fight in that situation was with that 3x versus Aegon X8, because the only imminent threat that Aegon X8 had in that very situation was 3x, and once they dealt with 3x, it was over. You know, I didn't see Stalwart Esports winning that fight 4v4 if they will have that kind of cover line right next to the swamp where Aegon can play. So yeah, sure, it was, you know, I would say a hit piece. You know, I was just trying something in the dark, but yeah, there you go. I got it right. But anyhow,
Yeah.
that was heck of a match, I must say.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so many early fights, so many draw fights, so many clashes happening as soon as we just jump into the game. Never seen this before, man. Never seen this before. But if we talk about the MVP of the entire game, that has been a player from Team
Yes.
NBeSports. So
Sure.
5 eliminations to his name, good number of damage. But this is sort of a give and take in the map of Sanhok. If you take too many fights, you are bound to lose players. And essentially, the greater objective of winning the game cannot be achieved if you take too many fights in Sanhok.
Sanhok is all about keeping a balance between fights and keep moving inside the circle, because NBeSports, while their focus was more toward the fights, they took against 4MV, SG. So during that process, it was pretty imminent that they will lose one of their players. But let's have a quick look at the players, top players in focus. We have Mondo, then Godless from IHC did a great job against Tough versus Tough and HR and High Voltage DC as well. Again, at the same time, Raw, they had a good start, I must say, but they lost their players against 4MV once again. The bootcamp hill was pretty much under control of 4MV for a long time, and they took a total advantage of that. But Doc 922 and Baron once again coming with some good numbers. So total of 7 right on this graphic for 4 Miracle Vibes. So again, another good match for 4MV. But let's have a quick look at the match summary, guys, and it's more about, I would say, NBeSports summary, where Mondo is dominating 2 different fields, where highest damage and highest eliminations. Assist goes to Apex 922, and at the same time, highest healing was done by IHC. I'm still confused how IHC, put themselves in a position where they had to heal this much. But anyhow, IHC took a great fight against High Voltage and HR.
Yeah, that's true. I still do not understand the objective of highest healing, but hey, we still have it. But if you talk about the overall match rankings, I 8 eliminations, total 18 points on top, followed by 4MV. So even though they ended up 3rd in the game, but they had total 10 eliminations, which helps them to put on the 2nd spot. Then comes in NBeSports with 13 points, and finally Stalwart. So Stalwart, even though they usually drop in bootcamp, the final circle was around the city of bootcamp, still were not able to make the most out of the situation. 11 points, sitting on the 4th spot, followed by the other teams as well. IHC, Leo, Roy Sports, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Now, all of them, they have to perform a little bit better, because we're already done with 4 games, and none of these teams have been able to make their way in the top three teams even till now. So that is something they need to be careful about. They need to be a little bit more consistent. But the 3 games that have happened for Raw and DRS, they have been able to get themselves all the way up to the top 2 spots. DRS with 40 points and Raw Esports, the placement points are very low, but when you compare the eliminations that they've got, it's the highest in the entire tournament.
Yeah, right now elimination points, they're pretty much focusing more on the elimination points, because in this new meta, in this new point system, if you are good with getting farming some of the elimination points in the matches, you might get some placement points as well. But more of the focus of these teams right now is elimination points. But looking at the second page, top 20 20 teams are right now, I see 3 or 4 teams, or I would say 5 teams from PMPL Pakistan right down at the bottom, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20th. And rest of the teams also, R3G is on the second page. It's quite an irony, I must say. R3G, seeing them here is not something I was expecting on day one. But anyhow, sometimes you need some time early on in a tournament to settle in and just feel comfortable to actually start fragging out. But at this very moment, I see like last match we are about to go, and that's where the real deal is, the big map. And let's see who got the nerves and the strength to actually hold on that long for 30 minutes and eventually win the game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, me and Hana on desk were talking about the biggest rivalry, at least for us, that was the champions of Pakistani region and the champions of SA region. So we had 4MV and Team Aegon Excited, and both these teams usually drop in military base. They do not like to experiment with their drops in this particular map. So we sort of had that battle in the first map, not in the best possible way, because the plane path was not with them. But this time around, I believe we will see that fight happen, and the plane path will be in both the favor. That's what at least I hope. So Aegon Excited versus 4MV, that's a fight I am still looking forward to. The only team that got 2 chickens today in the meanwhile was DRS. Gaming. They won that map of Erangel, followed by that map of Miramar. But then T2K, they showed a really, really good performance, man. 28 frags overall, and were able to take out that game. But now for the final Erangel game, I mean, it's going to be tricky because the zone has not been very consistent. I mean, we sort of have seen the ruins area being continuously in the zone for the past two Erangel games. Let's see if the pattern repeats itself thrice in today's day or not.
Yeah, let's see, because we've been seeing some consistent play areas formation in first two Erangels as well, and now as you said, might be there will we see the same thing happening once again. But ruins in God Cup, these part of the map are pretty obvious. Even though whatever side it is, you will find some part of these areas to be inside the circle, and it always makes it interesting because it's an open space, and it's hard for teams to even hold on to these kind of positions. You're always in a constant battle and constant worry that someone might show up on your back and get you guys flushed pinch you in between and get you guys flushed. But so that's the reason why most of these teams tend to not play around ruins, and mostly we see these places pretty much vacated. Even in the previous map, as Magnus Esports, they were trying to cruise inside the circle. They chose to go toward the water town rather than going toward the ruins, holding on to the shorelines of the ruins and that, I would say, the riverbank. But again, it's all about the mentality. It's open space. Nobody likes to take that risk. But anyhow, guys, we are about to jump into our match, the final match of the day, and it's Erangel once again. Talking about the plane line starting from the North Shore Pole, going down south toward Melta Power and Nova Ripnoy. So a pretty nice plane line, diagonally cutting the main map. And in my opinion, Fritz, this is kind of a dream plane line where every team can, go toward their favorite drop location, except some of these, extreme extremities. Yes, like Kamishki's, Zarki, Primosk. Some of these places are out of reach, but rest of the map is pretty much accessible.
Yeah, I mean, usually what we saw that Leo like to rotate towards Primosk, but this time around they've changed. Probably adapting to the fact that Stalwart won't be there around the city of Gatka. So Stalwart have sort of these two different drops depending upon the plane path. Their primary drop is Novo Rep. So if the plane path helps them reach Novo Rep, that's where they go. Otherwise, they loot somewhere on the shores around Gatka and Query. And after that, they look forward towards that first fight to maybe win it out and then take the loot of their opponents. That's the basic objective that Stalwart approaches the game with. But this time around, Leo should be really happy. No Repnoy on the plane path, so Stalwart is going to drop in that spot, no problem whatsoever. And no early drop clashes as such. I mean, we still might see a few players maybe, clashing in terms of rotation. So if Mabetex go towards the mansion area where they might find the players of team NBeSports, so all those sort of singular battles might happen, but no major drop clashes, for which I'm really grateful, because all these teams will be given time to loot, then rotate and probably convert all the fights in the near coming future into 4v4s, into where they should feel a little bit stronger as compared to these individual battles.
Yeah, but again, being a player myself and also the fans at home right now in Pakistan, they like to see some early fights. They like to see some victims falling early on. But right now it's I would say another peaceful day in Erangel, and no early casualties. So it pretty much indicates that later down the road, maybe third or fourth circle onward, we'll see some early skirmishes happening. But at this very moment, everything is peaceful. There's nothing to worry about. DRS going to Milta once again after a long time. It's been a while we have seen them, playing from Milta. They have adjusted their drop location in PUBG Mobile Global Championship, but South Asia, they are the champs. So they're not going to make those kind of adjustments. But at the same time, right next to them, there is no one, in Milta power that they should mostly worry about. SRX3X, I'm pretty sure they're not going to poke, DRS at this very moment, because they are themselves trying to find some momentum in this competition. First day, if you're not able to get at least 10 to 20 points, it really bothers you, in the coming days as well, because once you find the right momentum early on, just like the way Aegon XI8 have found for themselves a chicken dinner, this will really help them to even, stack on top of it some more good points and eventually get into the top 3 positions, which is, in my opinion, is their goal right now. But the rest of the teams coming from the PMPL Pakistan, they have a rude awakening right now, because the kind of competition South Asia have prepared for themselves, for them, it is looking like these guys were just slightly too easy while getting in here.
Yeah, well, early on in the tournament, we also did see a statistic comparison between 4MV and Aegon XI8, and IA were just leading on top.
Yeah.
And even at that point, Ahana pointed it out that it was a complete comeback that 4MV did in the grand finals, and the other teams were completely shut down because of it. That's why we do see Aegon XI8. Otherwise, these two teams, they can be compared, but the rest of the teams, they will have to show up to the cause. They will have to show up to the performance. And again, Aegon XI8 is the only one who has showed a great game. I'd even consider Magnus Esports to be a big threat, because the way they played they were ruthless. The first game, they were just completely ruthless. They saw a team, they just barged in onto them and just wanted to get those frags in as soon as possible. They got 13 frags while still 30 plus players were remaining. Essentially got eliminated because the play zone was not in their favor, but they were looking really good in those 4v4 battles. So I would love to see some more plays like that being made, some more fights like that being taken out by all of these different teams. And man, let's see. I mean, how the performance comes in overall in the tournament. Right now, if we have a look on the map, we have Roy Esports, very standard drop that they've taken. They like to loot with that school split and 2 of their players around this water city. So they control the map in this way in a very good manner. Plus, all of these players get decent amount of loot in the early phases of the game, so they do not have to struggle in the upcoming phases of the game. So yeah, right now still a couple of minutes left on the clock. They will just get done with the initial loot that they have, and then probably regroup together, maybe to move inside the zone number 2, maybe to get a better spot if they're already inside the first zone. So Roy Sports looking in a good spot as of now.
Yeah, Raw officials, their drop choice, I must say, previously while I was doing a South Asia watch party as well, I mentioned out that the drop location, the OG OR and Raw officials right now using in South Asia, it's a very nice place to be in early on in Erangel, because it gives you that freedom. Whichever part of the map you want to go, you will have a straight path down there, because a safer one, I would say. If we talk about Watertown, if you want to go south, you can go through Gatka, a pretty nice road network you can use and go through Gatka and be safe, and at the same time end up being in quarry. If you want to go north, you have the DICE compounds going up north, Georgia Pole, shooting range, Saverny. It's a clean rotation. You don't have to worry about anyone showing up in between, because there is only one place where players could be, and that is shooting range. The rest of the area is just an open barren land. But at the same time, if you want to go even the eastern side, you can pretty much cruise your way from the northern part of the map, or maybe going through Rozhok, whatever your choice is. So it gives you that kind of freedom whichever side of the map you want to go. So that's the reason why I really like this place in the map. And same I think about Ferry Pair as well. And Ferry Pair, it gives you again much of a freedom. If the circle is going down south toward the Sosnovka Military Island, it's going on the eastern side, you can go through farm and actually end up being around shelter, untouched, unfazed, I must say. At the same time, it gives you an open channel going toward the eastern side through Quarry and up north toward hospital and stuff. So some of these parts on the map are really crucial, and the teams that are choosing those drop locations will have a favored situation for themselves. But it's all about how they use it. But talking about this particular circle, guys, a quick shift, but an aggressive one, I must say, going totally toward the southeastern side and favoring teams at this way. And I must say, pretty happy team Raw, team NBeSports and Mabetex will be, because the circle has totally shifted toward them, and looks like R3G will also have a way in as well from the northern side of Rozhok, So right now, it looks like most of these teams have themselves comfortable in the second phase of the game already, Fritz.
Yeah, it should be a fun zone for them. I mean, moving early on, already most of these teams were, running towards the western part of the map. They thought it'll be a western shift overall.
Yeah.
But just in the meanwhile, while they were trying to rotate, the zone closes in, and suddenly all of them find themselves inside the zone. So I don't think so anyone would be troubled by a zone like this. You all are inside it, mostly towards the centric path. So even the third zone shift should not also matter to you. Although we have Raw Esports who are throwing in some bullets, try to get some knocks. 52 Esports on the other hand, Choto has been able to get a knock. Would look to get that confirmation out of Faisal, because King of Spades, they were caught off guard. And 52 Esports, very quick to punish on that fact.
Very quick to punish and nice angles, I must say, coming from the side of 52 Esports. I wasn't expecting them doing these kind of shenanigans from the ruins, the Church of the Ruins. Now, but 52 Esports, they have drawn a lot of attention as well, because at this very moment, their back is clear. For sure, nobody is gonna pull off right behind them from Georgia Pool, so they can take fight on their front end. But at this very moment, looks like Team KS, King of Spades, gonna lose one of their players. Naruto jumping down and will revive one of his players in the water. That's a nice mechanic, and it was much needed. Previously, once you are knocked out and if you accidentally gets dropped into the water, you're done. There's no chance of getting saved, I must say. But this new mechanic is really helping in the competitive esports as well. Players getting knocked inside the water get revived once again. But overall, looks like again another phase of the game where we won't be seeing much of the fights happening, because teams are still trying to find a way in. But Magnus Esports, Fenny getting first elimination on his own countryman, Team Tough's player, and Tough lost one of their players early on. But look at Aegon XI, they're eyeing on 7th element.
Could be an interesting battle.
It could be, because this is kind of a local rivalry between both of these teams. But look at this. Team Magnus Esports, they're pushing straight on the players of Tough, realizing that they have an upper edge in this fight. And they have pretty much pinched the whole squad of Team Tough right now. Well, nice one. Nice.
Great job done by Zebian. He is looking like a very strong player right now. Gets the second knock onto Tarzan, and suddenly M7, he is feeling the pressure. The nade missed the window, but it still gets that confirmation onto Tarzan, so I guess it's all well and good. Malik now has a Bison. It's a very big magazine, but will he decide to push in? M7 on the other hand gets a knock out of Finny and instant confirmation as well. So no opportunity to get that revival. The push already comes inside the compound. Zebian first of all wants to go in with a shotgun, but the smokes will block the vision. Not for long. The spam will anyway find M7.
Oh, look at that.
Team Tough. What is he? Is he sitting inside the vehicle motivate and even gets the reset off of it? Has been able to pop the first aid, but then draw in. Spots him down, takes care of him. And Magnus, yes, they lose the player. Oh, was it worth it? I mean, they did get 4 frags.
At the same time, I must say, talking about this particular fight, Mabetex have 2 of their players knocked out right away. Team DRS have total control, and now Wally could possibly be the next victim. But DRS right now controlling. At the same time, one of the players from Mabetex takes down 2, a third party happening as well. But Team DRS, they are in control and will finish off the final player as well. Team Mabetex is out, but DRS got one of their players knocked out in the process. It's not much of the I would say damage dealt on the players of DRS, but DRS coming out untouched right now with 4 eliminations, 4 of their players surviving. But as we were discussing about Magnus Esports versus Team Tough, it looked like Team Magnus Esports didn't do the right job. They should have keep all of their players alive. Fenny got eliminated in the process, while the rest of the team was just taking fight with only 1 player. This was a major mistake, but Magnus Esports confirming some more eliminations, and they have right away confirmed T2K as well. What just happened?
A lot of fights. A lot of fights just happening in the third zone. Maybe the shift was anticipated, but in this way, the teams approaching for the fight, that's a little bit sad to see, man. The teams who were performing good in the first half of today suddenly taking early exits. Stalwart, on the other hand, they have also found themselves a good spot inside the zone. But let's see, it's a very crowded eastern part of the map, and all these teams will face a lot of difficulties while trying to get inside the zone. But again, it's time for prediction, Asin. This time I'll again ask you first and then give my prediction.
I would say this is DRS match. Looks like it's a
okay.
DRS match because it could be a possible third chicken dinner, but at the same time, I see in this particular fight, third parties and takes down the IGL of 3x. Cairo is over. But look at this. The circle shift is gonna make it very difficult for me. But DRS, I would definitely choose in this situation.
Okay, I'll go with Magnus. They literally have no fights at their hand. Entering from the western part of the zone should not be faced by any of these teams. So I think Magnus Esports, yeah, that's the team I'll be going with right now. But yeah, DRS is also an interesting choice because they do have a squad house. The only problem I see with DRS, they're just surrounded by teams. So if the zone is not in their favor, for them to get inside the zone will be a tough task. They do have vehicles and smokes and everything, but still getting inside the zone won't be that easy. And meanwhile, SR3X, they've lost a player, Cairo, but the other three players, let's see how far along can they move in this map, because a 3-man squad, it'll be difficult for them to get that chicken dinner. But at the same time, if they're able to get into top 5 with decent number of frags, that should also not be the worst result that they could have expected.
Right now, losing their IGL will really set them back. But DRS getting third party as well. Delta is knocked out for sure. Rules OG will pick him up. Not a big deal. But IHC were holding inside Pochinki right next door to 3x. That fight didn't happen. That is interesting because in Pochinki, if you are, it's pretty much a legal tender for you to actually take a fight. This is the drop location of this is the hot drop of Erangel. For sure, you should claim Pochinki for yourself. But Aegon Excite making their moves, and right now they have placed themselves in a very nice place inside the circle. And I'm really liking that, the way they have placed themselves, because they're right next door to 7th Element, and even though circle shifts north, there is not a major stretch they have to cover.
What a nade!
And they can also gatekeep, but what a nade coming from the side of Akazo. Takes down 2 of the players of Stalwart Esports. One of them will get confirmed, but DRS Killer Whitey gets also knocked out in the process in the kill feed. But Stalwart Esports, they will go for the revival for sure. They cannot lose their players like this. But NBeSports, they have realized that they have somewhat a control of the situation, giving some damage to the players of ST once again. Gyante on the other side takes down ST Nurzed, and at the same time a third party happening. R3G losing their players. What is happening? Raw officials, they jumped into the fight, but right now they're confirming eliminations on the player of R3G. Noki confirming another one, will get one of his player up as well. But look at this. This shot can confirm the final player, but a third one getting down from the side of R3G. Senny is the last one standing. He was going to make an angle on the players of Raw officials, but third party from the side of 52 also happening, confirming elimination points on the players of Raw. Last man standing, Malik it is, but R3G, they have lost it all. They have 3 of their players eliminated, and only Senny surviving right now, who is also getting damage from Malik. It's an open area and will get confirmed. It's over. Malik confirming the elimination, and R3G is out from this match.
Yeah, I mean, Raw and R3G, they traded evenly in the close battles. But at the end, it was basically the fight between the people who were supposed to cover for them, and Malik having a better angle in the entire situation is able to land the final blow. The meanwhile, Aegon Excite as well have been able to confirm a frag. Zyol, great angle onto the DRS guys, and this is the problem that I was talking about. NBeSports on one side, IHC on the other. How do they try to rotate? Godless is the one who gets that knockout to Gyante. Delta is quick to trade though, so you still have to be really careful if you're team IHC, and Demo somehow is being shot out by the players of NB. A lot of teams taking interest in this battle, and if IHC has to move 100 meters inside the zone, I think this is game over for DRS. 3 teams in the close vicinity. The maximum they can do is get one of their players inside the zone while the rest of them try to give cover to him.
Yeah, in the process, DRS, they traded one, but Godless will get revived once again. But DRS, they're pushing on the players of IHC, who are somewhat separated. Only 2 versus 2 it's happening on this end of the map. But NBeSports from the backlines have moved away as well. Now DRS have to take care of this fight. It's a 4 versus 3. Killer is already eliminated. Smokes are being deployed right now. IHC Zol trying to take some fight, but at the same time, some utility and a third party happening on the players of IHC. In the kill feed, NBeSports Fistboy take care of Magnus Esports, and at the same time, Zebian will get confirmed as well. Gyante getting knocked out inside the play zone. It's a 2 versus 4 now. Magnus, in meanwhile, gets eliminated as well. 7E confirming some eliminations on 3x. Meanwhile, but DRS, they're pushing forward. IHC, one of their players is knocked out. Rules OG with his AKM pushing forward. Will take another one down, and it's a third party happening as well on the players of Team IHC. 7th Element taking care of this fight from far away, but Godless, his position is pretty nice, and he is pushing forward with confirmed Delta as well. Last man standing. Rules OG will confirm Zol. Rules OG low on HP. A third party can possibly happen, but 52 Esports going against the player of Raw, the final man standing, but Lee joins in as well. And Rules OG still surviving. A utility from the side of Rules OG will confirm the 2 remaining players of IHC as well. And there you go. He is already preparing for that.
A good nade, Alex,
nice
who just got back on his feet, has been brought down to his knees. Now, Godless
Nice
is
work,
very good on the
Godless.
trade. He is good on the trade.
Nice.
Although the zone has already started in, so he needs to get his player back into the buggy, get him inside the zone and get that revival. This is going to be tough considering he will be shot upon by the players on the left-hand side team, right? 7th Element, do you see these players? No, they do not. Okay, never mind. So IHC, they will be able to get the player back into the game. It will be a 2-man squad remaining. I mean, not that they can do much about it.
Oh, no
they
way.
can do much about with the both remaining players. But then it's better to have 2 rather than 1. Malik, try to run, try to get inside the
nice
zone.
work.
Spotted down by Jallad, although the flag got confirmed by Slipknot from Leo Esports. So 52 Esports, even though they spotted a player out, they thought it was a free frag. It is Leo who get the job done.
Leo right now just taking a total advantage of this situation where 52 Esports right now they are pinned down, and red zone being created by the players of Leo on the players, and the last man standing, Walud, already his rear wheel is punctured and won't be able to go that far, and Walud will get confirmed as well. Aegon Excited, now they're in the open and will face some wrath coming from the side of NBeSports. Fist Boy right now confirming eliminations, and Aegon Excited right now in the open. Blade and IQ right now standing. Only 2 players, but NBeSports with 5 eliminations to their name are looking really promising at this very moment. Also, Fistboy gets some damage. Rest of the NBeSports trying to position themselves again inside the circle, on the edges of the circle, I must say. But 7E will take one of the players down from IHC. Alex still in the cover, nothing to worry about, but the third party happening from the side of Leo will confirm it, and it's over for IHC as well on 5th spot. Top 4 teams, 15 players are surviving, but Leo Esports, they are confirming frags at right, left, and center.
Well, Leo look to be in a great spot, and so do the players of Team NBeSports.
Oh,
Aegon excited though. As soon as I say that, they just get that confirmation. Aiko is running in with a vehicle and gets that.
Nice
but
one.
how? Fistboy did not get knocked out. I thought the vehicle was right on point. Does not matter because our cars with an 8 has been able to take down Blade. The flag was being attempted to be stolen by the players of Team 7th Element, but that did not happen. Alian spotted down, being sprayed upon, but still stands tall behind the tree.
Yeah, whether he's standing or sitting down, that's another question. But at the same time, 7E Aliani, he's getting peppered from 2 different sides. Sekujin have a different angle on him, and at the same time, rest of the 7E, they're not paying attention. This could be detrimental. They can lose one of their players, and this can totally mess up their whole game right now. Top 3 it is Leo with 4-man standing, 7th Element 4-man standing. This could be a chicken dinner coming from the side of 7E, the way they're positioned themselves. But rest of the NBeSports, they have to make their way in. A pretty split strategy coming from the side of NB. 3-man versus 4, and at the same time, a fear of a third party is in their mind, in the subconscious as well of NBeSports, because Leo, they have made their way inside the circle. They're right on the edges. but at the same time could be a possible threat for NBeSports in this very situation. But NBeSports Fist Boy is slowly and steadily trying to make an angle, and he will do so. Divine is taken down. NBeSports right now is in total control, will knock another player as well. Fist Boy, his angle is not being covered, but a nade from Sekujin will confirm the elimination, and Divine, it's a 3 versus 3 now between NBeSports and 7th Element, Fritz.
It's a very interesting battle because Leo is also taking interest as a third party team. Although good counter knock by Goku. He says, if you miss a shot on me, I'm not giving you a second opportunity. It's a very good frag confirmed too at the same time.
Leo.
But yeah, Leo, it's just a game in their favor. It's just a game grabbed by them because look at the position they have. The entire zone is being covered by them. They are letting the players of 7th Element and NBeSports fight it out. And after that, once the stage number 7 completes, they will just have to run towards Leo and get eliminated at their hands. Although, as soon as I say that, Liquid with a very aggressive, maybe a vehicle pushing onto the 7th Element guys, or maybe just trying to get some information. T24 is being naded by Slipknot. He is trying to get that knock, although till now hasn't even been able to get significant damage all that much.
Yeah, not much of the damage. It's a kind of a unique roadside ridge that 7th Element is using for themselves. But Leo versus NBeSports is about to happen, but this time around Fist Boy won't be able to save himself from this rundown coming from the side of Liquid. Liquid, still pushing forward. This guy have just smelled blood, and now he wants more. NBeSports losing another player, and now down to their last man standing. Vehicle elimination to Liquid, and last player of NBeSports is also being hunted down by the side of Leo. Leo want to take this fight without any, third parties missing their fight as well, and that's the reason why they wanted to confirm the last player of NBeSports. The player is spotted out, and it's over. Leo versus 7th Element. It is the final fight for the chicken dinner, 3 versus 4.
Yeah, make it a 2v4. That's an easy game. That's an easy game for Leo. No way they lose this. Goku has also been spotted down.
Nice work.
I say Slipknot just saved him from a run over, and then the final confirmation onto the last remaining player. 7th Element, twice they came so very close, but were never able to cross the final gate. And a great game by the side of Team Leo Esports.
Nice work. Top 3 it is for Leo, and got 20 points.
Another fun game, man. Another fun game finally heading in a way where all the 4 players of Team Leo had no trouble at all. They just isolated the fights perfectly. They just picked their teams perfectly. And at the end were just able to get the job done. Perfectly played by Leo Esports. And they are the victors for the previous game of Erangel.
Yeah, once again, it was the final, game, and they wanted to end on a high. And Leo Esports, the way that decision, going to ruins and capturing those compounds right, I would say northern side of the Pachinki, that was, I would say, the master move which helped Leo to hold on to this, very situation pretty nicely, and that's why they got the winner with a chicken dinner for themselves. But guys, we'll have a quick look at the MVP, the most valuable player of the previous match, and I'm pretty sure it will be someone first from maybe Leo or NBeSports, because NB kept themselves pretty busy, but it could be someone from Magnus Esports as well, because they confirmed 8 eliminations in the very first 2 phases of the game.
Yeah, that's true. Even DRS had 8 eliminations before getting completely eliminated. So that's another team that had a great game overall, but were not able to close it out. So we have seen teams getting good number of eliminations, but then again falling a little short in terms of the placement points. You could blame the zone, you could blame anyone that you want, but I personally think in 4th zone, if you're eyeing for a compound towards the edge of the zone, that's not the best possible place to hide in, right? I mean, we saw like 3 or 4 teams, IHC, DRS, NBeSports, all just trying to be in that single compound, be outside that city of Pocheki. Not the best possible decision over there, but hey, it gets you sometimes eliminated, it sometimes gives you a positive result. But yes, MVP of the game is going to be from Team Magnus because Zibin, not only he had 4 eliminations, as an 875 damage. That's a great number.
875 damage, and just see how long he survived. Only 17 minutes. That means he couldn't even get into phase 7 or phase 6 of the game. And during this short time that he had on this Erangel map, he took the total advantage and confirmed 4 eliminations, 875 damage, and just 141 healing. So well-deserving MVP. But we'll have a quick look at the players in focus as well, where we'll see how many other players of Magnus Esports will show up there, because some quick eliminations from them also came in. But at the same time, as you pointed out, DRS had a good match. Unfortunately, they had to push out of the Pochinki, which is the place of map which every team knows how to gatekeep anyone exiting Pochinki. So IHC did a great job there, and a third party as well happening onto the players of DRS and IHC in that very situation. Seventh Element took the total advantage, but we'll have a quick look at the players in focus. We have Akazo, the Grenadier, I must say, confirming eliminations on the players of Stalwart Esports. Yetauta from Leo, and again Slipknot did a wonderful job, keeping total control of that very compound on the southern side of Ruins, and at the same time in the final fight against NB and 7th Element. But match summary, it is pretty, much, I would say, dispersed between the teams. Yetauta with highest eliminations, highest damage goes to Zebean from Magnus Esports. Fistboy with highest assist, as we saw there, and highest healing done by Gyante, as he was trying to save himself in the blue zone after phase 4. But anyhow, it was a heck of a game coming from the side of these teams.
Yeah, and this game did give quite a few points to all of these teams. Now, Leo had 20 because they were able to get the chicken dinner with 10 points. We've already seen this. But NBeSports is the team in the second place, 13 points to their name, followed by 7th Element. Fell a little bit short as compared to the position as well as the number of eliminations that they had, because of which they will be positioned in the 3rd spot, 11 points to their name. Roy Esports being another team which had so many frags. Look at this, 9 elimination points, but only 1 position point. So Roy Esports also being on a little bit of a tough spot in terms of placement points. If they improve on that, could be a really great team to watch out for. But if we talk about the overall rankings, we still have DRS Gaming on top, followed by Roy Esports. I'm still surprised to see them here. But then again, the new format, as you correctly pointed out, Essen, it rewards you for getting as many eliminations as possible.
Yes.
31 eliminations, only 10 placement points. Still, with 41 total points, Roy Esports sitting on the 2nd spot.
Raw Esports, they totally dominated with their gunslinging skills, and we can clearly see the way they did it. That's totally, I would say, mind-boggling for rest of the lobby, because right now Raw, even though they got 3 of their players eliminated early on in the previous match, they still tried to confirm some more eliminations while they were about to exit for the lobby. But looking at the second page, things are pretty gloomy, I must say, for most of these teams. IHC with only 22 points, not that far from the first page. Same for Stalwart Esports. So these 2 guys are set. For rest of the teams down below, 52 Regicide, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, High Voltage, King of Spades, Team Tough, HellRaisers, and SRX3X, they couldn't even hold, I would say, in a stronger way in this first day of this PMPLSAC league stages. So I'm really looking forward how these guys will come with more preparation in tomorrow's matches as well. So Fritz, tomorrow will be, I would say, a better picture explaining the situation and the skill set of these teams of this South Asia Championship this season.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully all of these teams, they would have learned something new from day number 1. Could not start off on a positive note, did not get the early boosters right in the position, but hopefully day number 2 is a little bit better, because we did expect quite a few teams which are not there in terms of the overall standings. I mean, I for one expected i8, 4MB, Stalwart Esports to be in at least top 5 after day number 1. That did not happen. A little bit surprised, but then again, just the start of the week, just one single day, we will see all of these teams bouncing back tomorrow, hopefully with a better performance. We also have another race that is going on between the MVP of the tournament. So eliminations is where the judgment is going to be given. So we have Malik, who is literally leading the charts right now. 17 total eliminations. He is being followed by Zivin and Godless, but they're far away. It's 11 for both of them.
Yeah, because at the same time, I would say it's just one day, elimination leaders. We'll talk about that after 3 days or 4 days. We'll see, some new names, some new faces popping up. Because once the battlefields will start heating up, that's where the real heroes will come forward and they will show us the real class which we are expecting. But anyhow, right now with 1900 damage, 17 eliminations, it's a good number confirmed by Malik. I'm not going to take that spotlight away from him. But day summary days, guys, DRS with two chicken dinners really saved them in this day in these 4 matches. And right now they're sitting pretty nice on the top with 49 points. Then moving forward, we have T2K, another chicken dinner coming from the Nepal region. And then Aegon Exide with 1 and Leo with 1 for themselves. Aegon Exide, not I would say a chicken dinner from them that is pretty much complementing their play style. It's just 8 eliminations, but it's just a start. It will give them some footing, and for sure in the coming days, Aegon will start showing their true selves in this lobby, Fritz.
Yeah, that's that is something also I will hope for the upcoming future. I want I8 to perform. I mean Falak, at least that's a name that I have heard a lot from. I've seen him play. I've heard a lot about him, and I know what he can achieve, what he can do. So of course, I8 will definitely be a team to look out for in the upcoming games, in the future games, and would love to see some performance from the other teams as well. Because Seventh Element, yes, they are not that team who is getting a lot of frags, who are again and again getting those checkers, but are always in top 5. So somehow or the other, they are able to sneak their way into good position points, into getting good position points. So that is again I'd say a little bit of an ability that can really help them a lot. The only thing that they need is to get one big game with a good chicken dinner, and then just continue with the same momentum, with the same consistency that they have. If they can achieve it, well, this would be another team to be feared about. But yes, guys, that was it for today. I hope so you guys did enjoy. If you did, do not forget to hit that like button. That was it from me and Hassan today. We will be joining you back tomorrow, so stay tuned till then. Take care, bye bye, and good night.
In the new version, we've upgraded the security system. There are also some big updates to the real-time review system. Let's check them out. In this update, investigators can use the Eagle system to review suspicious players in real time during matches. Cheaters no longer have anywhere to hide as the investigators' vigilant eyes keep them at bay. If a player is caught violating the rules, investigators can report it in real time via the Eagle system. Once a player violation is confirmed, the PUBG Mobile security team will promptly impose penalties to maintain a fair gaming environment. Concurrently, we've added a new damage distribution chart and icons to the video progress bar to assist investigators in making more precise judgments. In this update, we've also added a bullet trajectory display, grenade trajectory display, and an unobstructed 360-degree view of the target to make it easier for investigators to make judgments when reviewing. If you have any questions about this update, please feel free to leave a comment. See you next time.